pledge allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda is public safety, and we've got some discussion with Dora.
Yes, so first I'd like to welcome Colin and Mr. Bratz over here, Eagles and Whistle Stop. Any chance Mr. Ross is coming?
Couldn't make it. His wife had some issues. He had to be there.
Okay, understood. So again, welcome. Two of our three establishments are in our Dora district at this time, Dora zone. So the reason why we invited you both to come is to make sure we're all on the same page going forward with the Dora. I know the Fall Festival and the creation of the Dora was kind of, everything happened really quickly. Some miscommunication occurred. Make sure we can hopefully set some boundaries, some understanding between the village and the establishments going forward.
How is that for you guys, the festival?
Yes.
For you guys, because that's the whole point of this whole thing, is about promoting economic development and downtown.
We had a success that night. I didn't go down the street, but
yeah,
it was good.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole point of all this, the festival, the Dora, everything, is to get people downtown, have a good time, bring up fellowship, and spend money in the establishments. So both of your guys' establishments did well that day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you very much.
And I don't want to speak on behalf of Mike, but as I wandered down there, there was a handful of kids and whatnot too. So I'd like to think that they had a good night as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Want to make sure I have a success.
Good. And I know you have quite a bit of cups left. Does the Eagles have many cups left? The official Dora cups, that is?
Never even looked.
Okay. So you did use them? That people did use them? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we have been advised by our insurance that establishments partaking in the Dora need to, going forward, have the village as on their insurance, basically. It is additionally insured. Going forward, do you have any issues with that?
Do you guys know?
One more time, sorry.
Yeah.
So, in order to, I'm not an insurance guy, I was just trying to say this myself. On your insurance for the establishments, the village needs to be named as additionally insured. What's the wording for that?
It's called additional insured. It's an amendment that they'll give you, your insurance company. It names North Baltimore on there
It is named
as
North
additional
Baltimore.
insured. It shouldn't cost you anything extra, but you'll need to check with your insurance company. And it's just, we're listed on there as additional insured.
It's not an extra cost.
And if there is any issues with insurance and all that, please let me know so we can communicate maybe better.
Have you guys ever heard anything? You got multiple businesses. Have you ever heard anything like this, Colin?
No. I mean, well, I'm not in any Dora per se, so this is the first time I've ever been part of Dora.
Has anybody ever asked you, any government entity asked you to put them on your insurance
I have
policy?
not. So, yeah.
I
I mean,
don't-
I'll call them. I
Insurance
just.
is required.
Yeah, our insurance is
Our
required.
Yeah. No, I got it. So we'll have a conversation with them, obviously, because I asked him about it. He's I think he's a little confused on it when I was talking
Well,
about it.
it's the same thing that when you had the food vendors, and I asked you to get us listed as additional insured, it's the same thing. It doesn't cost the food vendor anything to have that done.
Yeah.
They just have to contact their insurance company, and the insurance company fax you a paper with.
It's a COI, and you'll just get a copy of that with North Baltimore listed as an additional insured.
Sorry, you wanted us to turn it into you, or what? I mean, I don't.
We do need like a proof of it happening of sorts. I'll show you the print out something real quick. Send you something, an email, or send me the email.
They'll give you a cover sheet that will show us as the additional insured, and then we'll turn that into our insurance company.
Okay.
And they'll just hold that, and that's basically all it is.
Okay.
Yeah. That's. So why do we have it in there that if the state says a requirement of beer and intoxicating in the Dora, the Ohio Revised Code states for a Dora that the only requirement is that beer and intoxicating intoxicating liquor be served solely in plastic bottles or other non-glass containers in the area, why are we passing off costs to the businesses to be required to purchase certain cups?
So,
I'm asking the legislative authority.
Because we need regulation on this, we need to be able
But
to
why?
regulate this. Why?
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna know if somebody's got something in their cup walking around and then walk out of the area. And
That's for them to police. Did you
they're
guys?
not gonna be able to police the sidewalks. They're gonna have a hard enough time policing their own establishment if somebody walks in with an empty door cup and they aren't participating. If they just choose not to participate, then they have to police
So
that.
what
Say-
does having a, so you're saying that
It
that
gives
cup,
our
I'm just-
our officers would not be able to approach anyone if there was a problem that, and check their cup or anything, it has to be, it was in our legislation, that's one of the
No, I got
things
it, no, I got that, I'm asking, why is it in there?
so
If
that we can
the,
regulate
if
it.
the state doesn't require it, what's the purpose?
But we can require it, and we
I
have to
understand that, but-
require it so we can regulate it, that's the bottom line, we
But
wanna be able to regulate
regulate
it.
it how? I don't understand that, that's where I'm
Because it
confused.
identifies who's got alcohol in their hand walking around.
Anybody that's got a cup with alcohol in it, that's what the door,
I can
You-
bring
you-
up,
you've
I
got
could bring up a
Susie with a-
32-ounce can like this, or jar, my, Yeti thing, and nobody could see in it, it's silver. Nobody would be able to see in it. We
No,
wouldn't know
it's
if it's
gotta be-
alcohol
yeah,
or water.
yeah.
So then if something's going on and the police wanna know if it's alcohol, they
Yeah.
walk out of the boundaries, that's gonna be harassment.
no, 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 no.
Yes, it is.
no,
If
no,
the
no,
officers-
no, hold on,
you
hold
go
on.
up-
How many
Can
people
I
walk
just-
around with
can-
a cup right now?
Oh, hold on, hold on.
Let's be realistic. How many people walk around town with a plastic
But
cup?
we put in place
Hold on, hold
an
on. I'm-
ordinance that allows alcohol now.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to regulate. What is the problem?
During
with
the-
No, no,
regulating?
no, no, I'm just asking, because it's an additional cost, it's an additional cost on the businesses that have to purchase those cups. I'm just asking, so, just hear me out, please, for a minute. So, the establishment has to provide the plastic cup, it's an additional cost to have that on there. If an officer walks by and sees somebody with a cup, it has to come from one of those establishments by the revised code. It has to. You understand what I'm saying? So, there's certain cups that that the bowling alley, that the Eagles, and that the Whistle Stop would provide, and the revised code simply says, a requirement that beer and intoxicating liquor be served solely in plastic bottles or other non-glass containers. If it was that big of a deal, why would of regulating and oversight and micromanaging, why wouldn't
Why wouldn't John Green and Finley do it? 'Cause
no,
they
no,
do.
no, no. There's a lot of things they do wrong. Why would they not capture it in the Ohio Revised Code? That's what, I don't understand how it helps by having a name on it.
It identifies that it's a Dora cup. It identifies that it's alcohol. And it helps the town regulate it. That's all. And that's what we've got.
And that's the answer. Is that everybody's answer? Is that, I was like.
passed.
Yep, I get you, yep, but I'm asking, yep, I get that, that's what you guys passed, I get it. That's what I'm asking, so just cups, so, I mean, it's saying any container. And
Can
you're
I-
saying- Yes, please.
Since we have two businesses here, and this seems to be like this major thing, which I'm still baffled over, like, what is the pushback with the cup?
Is there?
Is there a pushback? Do you guys not want the cup? Like, what is this?
The cup is quite simple, but to have someone else dictate how we do, give us the parameters and then leave us be. We've already got to deal with the health department, all different other kinds of agencies.
And I think that's why you're here, is for us to be perfectly
Yes.
clear and set the expectations so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, if we got to buy them from you, it's asinine. Get us the link, we'll get our own shit.
Well,
I think
that's fine. Wait
we can
a
do
minute. I believe that's absolutely fine. If you want to get the same type of cup that we are offering, you have a better source as long as it's got on there what we need on there, that's fine. We're not saying you have to buy them from us. We're not making any money off of this. Matter of fact, I didn't think we should be using taxpayers' money to buy these cups and then resell them to you guys anyhow. I'm absolutely all for
Yeah,
it.
we
You
never wanted to be in
purchase
that.
your own. But they have to be the design that we've stated. They have to be this design. So if you want to get with Josh and get those cups, that's not a problem.
we
They
can do
just
that.
need to be that cup.
And the first allotment, to
That's
make
fine.
sure we're on the same
Yeah.
page, was free. That's the first allotment was free, that was given to Granby Festival, that was.
Right, yeah.
Hold on, it wasn't free. It cost somebody something.
Oh,
Right.
to you guys, to the establishments. That's what we're talking about.
Who did it cost? Because she doesn't want to pay, didn't want that coming out of taxpayers. I'll
No,
gladly.
I argued that. I argued that in this room, and the taxpayers paid for it.
I'll gladly pay.
Not
If
my
it'll
direction.
appease you, but like I say, we already get dictated enough to, who up here owns a business or runs a business?
Well, I have had businesses in the past, but I don't own one now.
Okay. How often did you like someone dictating how you run your business?
I don't like it, and I understand where you're coming from, but also, you know, just like you, I have to deal with a lot of different outside entities
But
that dictate the way I can do my business.
But-
I've had to jump through a lot
But
of.
this is something so simple, guys.
And it
that-
is. It
that
is.
why, if the revised code doesn't require it, why would we?
There's lots of things the Ohio Revised Code doesn't require to be required.
Okay, all right, well,
All we're asking is the
So what is the
establishment.
what does the cups cost?
The door,
What's
that's all we're
the
asking.
per cup, is it point, 23 cents, not even 0.4? It's about 23 cents a cup, something like that, and you can buy more and brings it down. There's a whole
Yeah,
range
I
we can
get
go
that,
through.
yeah.
Yeah, so, you have the official door cup, you have us named on your insurance, and those people who leave the establishment have to stay within the door boundaries, and and what else is there?
Well, the good thing is, that's what you got the police for, because when people don't listen, that's who they go to. It's not up to you folks. Like I say, anybody walking around with a plastic cup should be pretty suspicious as to what it is. You know, you're kind of making this, like, I already asked once, how many people you see walking around? You know, as you talk about the big tumblers and whatnot, we don't see that in the establishments.
no.
Very seldom. People come in, they order a beer, you know, booze, whatever. We've got plastic cups already. You know, to continue to dictate how we do things. You know, I mean, what's next? You know, you guys, the carry-out containers?
I wish that we'd have never even.
No, I'm
No,
baffled.
I mean, the
because
whole door, everything.
because-
I've never even introduced it, talked to them about it, and this is.
Well, no, I'm a little
a
confused.
nightmare.
I truly am, because the point of the door was to help. Get
Mhm.
the business, get the downtown area going, okay? So, if we didn't have the Dora, then then that whole aspect of it is gone, okay? So, with us trying to help build and give you a little more business, and all we're asking is to put it in a cup.
You're not giving us any more business. All you're doing is letting people out to go outside and
That's
conversate.
exactly right.
Right,
The-
but if, like, for summer festivities, I would think that would, because then you don't have to have a beer tent. You can go to the establishments, you don't have another party selling the same thing you're selling.
See, that could be an inconvenience too. If you
That's
have
that's
a
the whole
plastic,
point.
I mean, let's just say we're getting pictures from the Eagles, and I'm sitting out at a table.
Watching
on
the
field,
band.
Watching in the middle of Main Street, now every time I gotta walk it, just to go get a beer
When-
to walk inside, when I could
when-
buy a
when there's-
plastic container of beer to go out to my table and.
When there's 3 or 4 people drinking out of that
Yeah.
same pitcher, right? Now, it's back and forth. I mean, Josh, you play in the band. How much are we gonna get to enjoy if you're back and forth, if everybody's back and forth? I mean, you know,
But prior to this, during festivals, you couldn't take it outside anyways.
there was a
In
beer
pitcher.
tent. There was a beer tent.
Not in a pitcher, it was in a can.
But
So it was,
It was set up right there by the tent. The band was playing over here and the beer tent was
right.
right out here. You didn't have to go in and out. What am I
But in and out of 4 more, well, no, probably 35 more steps.
This all works everywhere else, I'm not sure what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just
And if it's such a
confused
hassle,
of
go
why.
back to the beer tent.
I mean,
And just-
And that hurts the businesses.
I understand,
That's
that's why we passed this.
How much
We
are these cups
we
gonna
have one regulation.
23 cents if we buy them
and it's
1,000
silly
at a
that,
time.
You know, we're even having this.
How much a
You-
plastic
boy,
cup?
you just, I agree with that 100%.
I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head, but I mean, I can
Nothing
figure it out. I
crazy.
mean, we have the same exact plastic cup that you guys have, that it doesn't have North Baltimore
Right.
Dora on it per se.
Right.
But it's the exact same cup.
That's the point that I'm making. You guys already order them. Why order them? I don't understand why we would put that on you guys to do. And then I think Mr. Ingard brings up a good point. What's the problem with somebody having what's the pictures that you offer down there? For,
What do you mean?
like, in draft? Like, if somebody was gonna, what's the size that you guys offer down there?
Oh, I think it's like 60.
64 ounces.
Yeah,
Do you
something like
offer,
that.
do you offer them at the Eagles?
No, we don't have draft, just cans.
So what's the problem with that? Just wondering, if the revised code,
So-
what?
Let's go back to kind of the legal aspect here, okay?
Right.
Let's look at this. Your business has a responsibility to responsibly serve.
Correct.
Okay, so, if somebody comes in, buys a pitcher, walks out on the street, somebody comes in, somebody else comes in, buys a pitcher, walks out on the street, buys a pitcher, like, you have no knowledge of how much of that alcohol is being consumed by what people.
Correct, but
It's leaving your
Okay.
door, so you know even less.
Correct.
It's leaving the door up.
Leaving the door.
The door, it's going outside. Okay, so you can no longer honestly, responsibly serve.
that's not true, because actually, I mean, they could be, honestly, they could be at the Eagles getting hammered drunk. Just
Correct.
because you're here. I'm not throwing
No,
you.
I'm with
They
you.
could be down
Okay,
at
no,
the, they could be
no.
down at the Eagles.
We can split hairs all day
and
over
literally
that stuff.
be doing shots for days and like come in and be perfectly fine, and then, well, the next guy, you know, obviously
Right,
we're
but you have a
trained to
visual
be
on that
visual.
person.
Correct, but still, the same person could come from wherever and do the exact same thing.
Yes.
It's not so much the Dora. I mean, they could be at home getting hammered drunk, for all I'm saying.
And they can stay home and do whatever they want.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you're trying to say we do have to police people, like,
Yes.
per se, when they're getting a drink. Yes, but I mean, it doesn't really change if
No, because
it's the same thing.
But if somebody walks out
I know,
with that pitcher, like, you're gonna serve 4 people out of that pitcher.
correct. Good. Yeah.
Where if they have to come in and get the cup, they're served a drink.
Yeah. Wondering, yeah. What, I mean, I don't get what you're saying. What?
Currently, the ordinance states that it has to be a cup, but if council wants to amend that to include pitchers, I will put that in the amendment, I'll amend it as so, and we can go forward with, an ordinance amending, basically, going forward. It could be next week.
My opinion is I'm not in favor of doing it. Everybody else can have a voice.
Like, I think, bring your own cup, as long as it says the same thing.
Does anybody else want to amend it?
I would like to see it amended.
Anyone else?
well, amend it and then take a vote on it.
Understood?
There you go.
Will do.
And-
One person wanted to amend it.
I will work with both of you on that.
Yep, thank you.
Why are
Why are we amending
us?
it when only one person on council wanted to amend it?
Well, at the request of the mayor, that's how I thought we
Yes.
could do it.
And then you can vote it down if you want to vote it down, but I would like to go to the citizens and let them know. Anything else? Sorry, guys.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, let us go. Thank you.
Welcome to North Baltimore
Thank
Legislative
you.
Meeting.
Colin?
Okay, next on the agenda is the K-9 officer.
This is listed 1 through 5. It's a little bit out of order. I would start with, maybe like dispatch first, because the other stuff kind of ties into each other.
Okay,
So then we move
that's
on.
fine.
So, we were notified, so everybody is aware that the CAD program is coming to Wood County, and the majority of the departments are hopping on board with that service that the sheriff's office is providing. The CAD is a computer-aided doesn't matter, it's for dispatch to send us calls and receive those calls. It has some neat little factors to it. It'll show where the police car is at. It'll show which route it's going. That should give you a GPS if you need to know how to get there, which is kind of nice. That's what the CAD program offers. And dispatch can live type in there, well, now he's got a gun. Now he's waiting for you by the bushes, you know. That they can input those things in the CAD. So it is a nice program. It is free, I think, for 5 years, and then we'll see what happens after that. But what we recently found out is that dispatch has to be LEADS, L-E-A-D-S, certified. So what LEADS is police officers use that when they run a license plate, run a driver's license. It checks the person's driving status, checks the person for warrants, checks the car, make sure it's valid, make sure it'll tell you what that car is supposed to be on. That's kind of what LEADS offers. LEADS requires police officers to take a test every 2 years. Every year we have to do a security agreement. Every year you have to do a security agreement. And basically the security agreement is you agree not to run your ex-wife's new husband. Yeah, you just can't be running people for non-law enforcement purposes. There's some police officers who've been fired for that, charged for that.
Anybody in our department?
Nope.
That you know of?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
That's a side note. But anyways, that's kind of what LEADS is. So dispatch has to be LEADS certified. They are not LEADS certified. What they use over there is called OLEG. I know everything's got abbreviations. I hate that. It's OLEG. It is a generic version of LEADS. It's not as technical. It doesn't give live information. They can't run anybody other than outside of Ohio. They can only run Ohio for driving status and stuff like that. And sometimes it's not even accurate. But the dispatchers use that to input that into calls. So when they receive the call, they take the call, they ask the person what's your phone number, they input the phone number, they ask the person what's your driver's license number, what's your social, something like that. So they can run it and input the caller's information. And then they'll ask, well, who's the suspect or who's the victim? And then they start inputting that information. So that comes in as a CAD call to the computer system for us later on down the road to go back and actually type in a full report. So just in case we get there, victim's gone, we don't know where she's at, maybe she's kidnapped, at least dispatch got that information. Well, this was the person that called us, this is who we have. Sure. But LEADS is the next level up. It's run by the state. They have no problem putting people in prison for doing the bad things with that thing. We just found, go ahead.
Why are we not?
I have no idea, but I had mentioned that a couple years ago. It would help the police officer out on the road if dispatch had the ability to run that. There was a cost to that. I think it was like $5,000 more a year if you had dispatch have an actual computer that they could run people. So like I've told the mayor this before, that we've been out on a call, we call dispatch, we tell them this is who I'm out with, I'm out in a fight, I don't know who these people are. I get their information, they give me their ID, I give it to dispatch. You know, I'm here hanging out with them, talking to them for a while, dispatch is running their information. Dispatch cannot give us, yes, that person has a murder warrant out of Tennessee for killing a cop. They can't tell us that. So the only way for us to know that information is to go back into the cruiser and then run it. That could be a while. Could be later in the evening. It depends on what we're handling.
Or it might be too late if you're walking up to a car with somebody
because
that's
the bad guy
shooting
knows I've got problems.
Right.
We don't know because we don't know who anybody is.
Yes.
But anyways, this is the next level up. The sheriff's office is offering. They're offering this CAD program, and we'll give all of our dispatchers the ability to run that. I'm not giving here praises. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just telling you that this created problems. Okay, this created problems in the police department. And the only reason I say that is I'm going to be here next year, and then I'm leaving. All right, I'm retiring. So I'm
saying next year,
giving
what are you
you
talking about?
the full year. I'll be here the full year.
You're not leaving in March. You're leaving until December.
I wait until December.
got that
You
recorded.
committed that to. You committed that to.
And the only reason I say that
Thank you,
is
sir.
that I really want the body as a whole to really think about before we get on board with something. No matter what rainbows and ribbons is tied around something, you really have to talk to the expert that is going to utilize the program. EMS is going to be really easy for them. You know, they're just getting on a tablet, you know, and do whatever they got to do. Fire department, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that what they're going to do with this program is a lot less than what we have to do.
Right.
This is totally changing the face of your police department. In the correct direction, possibly. But you have 20 years of reports over here that we have to be able to utilize down the road and have access to. Where is that going? We got to pay for that. So we're going to have to pay to export that. That's one of the things that Josh has been talking about and working on, is removing that data to somewhere so that we can, let's say 10, 15 years down the road, the Attorney General knocks on the door and they say, hey, I understand you guys have a homicide you guys never solved. We're here to work on it. I need all the reports. You can't say, can't find it. That's a problem. So, but anyways, that's only one piece of this puzzle, is the reports. Where and how are we going to get that stuff? The second part is dispatch has to be LEED certified, which I just led into. They are not LEED certified. So they all have to have fingerprints, which we've done, have taken care of when we got here. We've done background checks on them. We have all that information back. But now Tom, being our TAC, or TAC, he's in charge of all this stuff. He has to put them in the system and get them set up to go to the sheriff's office to take a test that they have to pass to keep their job. So that's out there too.
Every dispatcher has.
Every dispatcher. If you
That's a
don't pass,
requirement by law.
that is correct. Yeah, you lose your job. So that kind of put us out there on that little bit of a cliff with just that portion. Now the problem that we just ran into, another one, is that all dispatchers need 4 days of training, 8 hours, 4 8-hour days of training. I think it's fantastic.
Sure.
They need it, because like I said before, since I have been here, they've never went to training. It's an injustice for their job. You know, you can't knock an employee for not knowing what they're doing when we don't offer training. So they should have been to training, and there's a lot of things that dispatchers do at other places, bigger places. You know, a lot of training that's required for dispatchers, because they're the, you know, they get that call, that hot call that comes in, of possible suicide or somebody's killing somebody. That's the first line. They're getting that. They have to relay that to us properly in a calm manner so that we know what we're going into. But at any rate, the 4 8-hour classes was just sent to us by Central Square. They're offering it at the sheriff's office. The problem is, it's the beginning of November. I think the second week of November. I think the 10, 11, 12, 13. That's one training. The second training is 17, 18, 19, 20. And I just told you, our dispatchers are not LEED certified. They have to be LEED certified to go do that training.
You saw me with Doug earlier, pretty much stating,
Yes.
we would love to have all our dispatchers go, but we can't have them go and
Right.
not be LEED certified. So
Correct. Because that's what the things they're going to be doing, is inputting
How long
people's
does that
information.
take?
a lot of training.
How long?
Yeah, to get them
It's-
certified?
Well, they have to pass the test, but this just got dropped in.
Yeah, like last week.
This is like, here you go.
There's a couple things here. There's two different things, right? They have to get LEED certified, then they have to go to the training.
Correct.
There's two things, so.
Which is next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Now you see why. This is why I'm angry.
So, yeah, but did we know about this prior to?
No.
No.
No, this
You
just
just
came
dropped
out.
this on us.
Because Josh has really been on the ball with the sheriff's office
In this
asking for training.
Square.
Yeah, this just came out a couple of days ago, that this training is for dispatch. And then Josh said, what about the cops? We haven't been trained. And they said, well, our sheriff's office deputies are gonna do that. And I just saw another email from Lake Township, and Perrysburg Township, asking, well, who's training our evidence room people? Who's doing our detectives? So it's a whole thing that kinda got dropped on everybody all at once. Bigger departments can
So
handle this,
sound
we are
like-
not one of those.
Is it the sheriff's department that's maybe not us dropping the ball? And this isn't a criticism. This is it like, I gotta be careful what I say here.
Yeah.
Because I don't wanna kick somebody under the bus, and I'm not trying to, but, I mean, we reached out to Doug, and Doug
Yes.
didn't reach out to us, and then I had to get hold of the sheriff.
No, it's
Right?
been
And so,
absolutely nothing.
and I know that we've neglected some stuff on our side with this,
Correct.
with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And vice versa, but that's not saying North Baltimore did something wrong. So,
No.
but it sounds like
No.
they're still working on getting their
Yes.
ducks in a row before they can, am I?
No, I
Because I stopped
think
and
there's-
talked to I stopped and talked to the sheriff about this last year, and I think I told you in 2024 at the Wood County,
Mhm.
fair. I called him, come up, I stopped out there, that's where he was at, I said, I'll stop out and talk to you, he come outside and talk to me, fill me in on this stuff. So in
Right.
2024, why have we not, so that's 2024, it's a year, almost a year, 3-4 months ago. Why have we not been told these are the things that are,
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that Chief and I got, when we first heard about this, that this was passed by council, absent the police chief, and I'll get to that in a minute, but he wasn't here for that. But.
when it passed?
When it passed. He was not here to.
The Central Square.
Passed, correct. That's what he told me, I believe.
What did he say? What did he tell
He
you?
wasn't here to be asked if the police department would want to be on board with this program. It was only EMS and fire that were here. The chief was not here that night that this passed.
Yeah, but I talked to the sheriff, came back, he talked to Dave, and Dave was supposed to have contacted and sat down with the sheriff twice.
Well,
I know that
here's
for a
what
fact,
happened.
I don't know if they ever did or not.
Here's what happened.
But so.
Doug.
Yep, that was supposed to all have taken place.
That, I know Chief called, talked to Doug, and we set up 2 meetings. Well, we set up a meeting. The first meeting was canceled by him, that's fine. It wasn't available, so we canceled that.
By Doug or
We got-
by?
By Doug.
Yep.
We got
Doug.
called for the second meeting.
Who was Doug?
Doug, he's the sheriff's office. I don't
He's the
want-
guy that's administrating this
Was
Central Square.
last
He's
meeting.
the guy that the sheriff put in charge of this whole thing.
So, the second meeting was on a holiday. I was off, Chief was off. We both went there, waited in the lobby. We talked to a lady that works there, deputy, and she said, let me see if he's around. So 15, 20 minutes later, she came back. She goes, he's not here. He's off today because it's a holiday, and I don't know why he didn't get a hold of me. That was the second meeting. She goes, but I will call him and let him know that you guys are here. But you might as well leave because he's not here. So we left, and we never heard anything back.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's
So
exactly what happened.
Some of the stuff might be there
Yeah.
on their end. And
Yeah.
So I have a quick question.
Yep.
This is supposed to roll out last January, and then in
Right.
July.
It was delayed.
Are we 100% sure it's gonna roll out this January?
Well,
Trying to be ready.
this is the first I've seen of the trainings come down from Central Square, the actual company that's selling this product. That
I mean, I
this
would think
email
they would
came
give
from
us a
them.
little more time to get, you
Well,
know, everybody.
this is the problem. We have 6 dispatchers, they're all part-time. We have to send them to overtime, which I want you to understand. We're talking about overtime again. They will have to go to overtime because they can't be here and there at the sheriff's office taking this training for 4 8-hour days. That's what's going to happen.
And they have to get
And
sleep.
I don't, and there's no way that this is gonna happen in those dates. So I called Central Square, a few days ago, that's the company that's selling the product. And I talked to this lady, and she was kinda shocked that I didn't know all this information. But, I said, well, you're gonna have to do something for us, you're gonna have to help us out. So-
Can they send somebody down here?
Well, my point is we're going to have to pay, I think, to have them send somebody here to physically train our dispatchers. on this.
Did you happen to ask how much that would be?
Oh, she didn't even know if it's available.
Oh, okay.
Because I said, well, I see the dispatcher training, and my dispatchers are not being certified. I said, but I don't even know if I can get that done yet. I said, but what about the police officers? The cops have had no training. She goes, that's not in the project. I don't even see that at all, as us training the police. So then Doug just sent out an email that said that the sheriff's office will train the police.
In late November, early December, she said. He's scheduling soon, he said.
Yeah, I know, it could, that's fine, but I'm just telling you that with this like thrown upon us.
Right.
You know, within a week's notice that we have to be LEED certified, because there are assumptions that we all were, but we're not, that we're not gonna be ready for this.
So how long does it take to get LEED certified? Like, where do they have to go, and how
Sheriff's
soon can
office.
you get them to the sheriff's office?
Yes, they take their
And
test there.
Is it just a one-day test, or?
It would
class?
probably take you about an hour.
Okay.
I and Tom have taken this test 34 years, 30-something. You know, it is not an easy test. I do fail some questions. I am not a dispatcher, that's not my job. This is a dispatcher job. This is how to run a boat thing. I have no idea. You know, it just asks you a lot of questions that our dispatchers are not gonna be prepared for, so there's a possibility of them failing.
So where do other dispatchers get prepared for it? Is there a class that they're going to?
There's a book this thick.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
And they will open up the book on one screen, which is why we need 2 screens. They'll open up the book on one screen, and then your other screen is you take your test. So, but
It's an open book test?
It is, but is it timed? I don't remember if it's timed or not.
No.
No, it's not timed.
No, it's not timed. Good.
They can't look at the book ahead of time? Are they allowed to have access to the book?
Oh,
ahead of time?
absolutely, it's sitting on that shelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's, yep, I'm not exaggerating.
Is it one of those when they
And then, I don't
reach,
even know what year it
they
is.
reach a certain score, it just shuts off because they passed?
No, you have to take the whole test and submit it, and then it tells you what your percentage is. And a normal test, it's a normal test, and then you get a certificate, you know, so. But like I said, this really affected the police way more than anybody else, and the police were not present. So I'm just, like, kind of giving you a heads up that we gotta be careful in the future if we ever do something like that, I know.
So correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you kind of aren't 100% on board with CAD, or you are?
I personally, I don't know if the benefit outweighs the cost. And the only thing that Chief and I discussed many times, because I worked at Walbridge, Tom worked at Walbridge, you can talk to Ken. Ken actually talked to the Chief about this. Walbridge has been on this CAD program for a long time, and every year their price has went up to utilize the service.
So
So they
what's our
charge.
other options? What are our other options?
Well, we could, Oleg, it's free from the state. It's been around for, I bet, at least 15 years. That's a free computer program that offers dispatching service, and they offer report services and evidence management, and it's free. It doesn't cost a penny from the state.
What do you mean they offer dispatch?
It's a computer that the dispatchers can get the call, just like they're doing now.
Okay,
And
so
then
our
put the
current
information-
dispatchers would be able to
Yeah.
work on it?
Well, they use Oleg now, but they just
Okay,
don't use
that's
that
what I thought you said
program.
earlier. Okay.
Yeah,
So stay with the same program is what you're...
Could have. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point in time, because, you know, we're moving forward, we voted on it, you know, you're gonna get it free for 5 years. I don't know what's gonna happen after that. But I would just say that in the future, we really have to be careful with major changes at police departments, because this can really affect everything. I mean, Tom hasn't even gotten into the evidence program yet. He's gonna have to go through every piece of evidence that we have over there and relog it all back into the computer. That's overtime, guaranteed overtime. So this kind of stuff, when you do these drastic changes, really can affect, you know, some overtime and obviously some things at the police department. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that this really put us in a tight spot. It put me and Tom in a tight spot. We're not the chief, you know, so that's kind of what I'm...
So what I'm hearing is maybe we jumped the gun and should not have approved the CAD. It's sounding like maybe we should have kind of stuck with where we're at, because I know we're talking $8,000 just to strap that.
Yeah,
you know.
Then
there's-
$8,000 for export, and then we're
Right.
still getting, we're trying to figure out the import. Intech is working on
Right.
large.
We don't have that
item.
We've got training for dispatchers,
Right.
you know, and, you know, if they can't pass, then we've got hiring problems for dispatchers. I'm just wondering.
We may not be prepared.
Right, and
Yes.
what I guess I'm saying is, I understand we passed this, but can we rescind it?
Oh, I'm quite certain we can.
And I'm wondering if that's what we should possibly do, if.
Well, maybe, do you think I should reach out to the sheriff and say, somebody better get over here and tell us what's going on?
Well,
I mean, to at least educate us up here.
he's a good salesman. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying.
Well, I think he can answer questions that you can't, though,
Oh.
Mr. Brochus, is kind of what I'm getting at. So if this body said, if I said, hey, Mark, we got some real concerns about the way this thing was kicked off, according to the stuff you told us, and this body says, look, if we don't get this straightened out, we're not on board with this. You know, we're gonna have to temporarily put it off until we get in line with where we need to be to
Right.
get on board, right? Because this is a big push that whenever something, in my opinion, goes this fast with this big of a push, we make a lot of mistakes that we have to go back and try to fix later on. I think D comes up with really good ideas to say, let's maybe pump the brakes a second, see what our options are.
And this is kind of my point,
Would
this
you-
is why I'm putting you on notice.
Yeah, would you disagree with that?
No, I wouldn't disagree with it at all, but I
I-
mean, if they're going in December and we no longer have CMI in December, we got a problem. I mean,
So-
where do we put our reports at?
But we have to
Well,
do our contract with CMI then, is what, by December is what you're saying?
Oh, you may have to. if we're
I'm
not
trying to
ready.
avoid that.
Right.
I'm really
Right.
trying to
that's
avoid
a
that.
huge
want
cost,
two
did that go up?
Well, there's also if you get prorated, if we can get prorated to a certain time, we might be paying for it longer than we actually have it.
Or you-
It's a whole-
If we go to the
Or you
CAD
keep
system.
for the 2026.
And then how does that work with Central Square when we actually
Well-
are ready for it?
Well, here's the thing,
I don't know.
if you're not required to go on CAD, but later on decide to, I would think they would offer the training then. It would give us time to get our staff up where they need to be.
Do you want me to ask the sheriff to come and address us next Wednesday?
I think it would be.
Does everybody want that? To maybe just give us a,
I've got a question on that, because I've talked to Mark a couple of times. And he has always pushed me as a council member, you gotta let us take over your dispatch. We just do a bang-up job, blah, 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 every time I talk to him. And you know him, okay?
I only know him from being a councilman and from being.
But longer than I do.
Yeah.
So, you know him somewhat.
Mhm.
I hate to be looking under the rock, but is he trying to push all this stuff so that they will and can take over?
They can't take over anything unless this body allows them to do so.
Well, I know, but is it a,
But we're having the conversation of replacing a bunch of dispatch stuff over there, because we're old school.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's the same thing we talked about with the equipment with the police. When it comes down to it, what is the cost to our citizens to continue down this road of enhancing our dispatch over there and getting everything that we need to do versus what's the cost if the 911 center, because the 911 center dispatches our ambulance and fire department, right?
Right.
So what's the plus and minuses of that?
Well,
Cost-wise and service-wise? to our
The
residents?
service, the best thing is the personal service next door that they offer, which is something that Mr. Brochus could speak on, because he spoke to me about it just recently, about when people come up there with emergencies, somebody's there, right, that can make that call, that can make that, to get somebody, you can speak on it better than I can, because I don't deal with it.
And like I told you, I mean, I'm not pushing either or.
Either or.
It's your decision. I'm telling you, I'm leaving at the end of next year. So I have no skin in the game, is my point to all of this stuff that I'm telling you guys. Whether you go with Taser, you don't matter to me. But I'm just giving you guys options. But what I talked to the mayor about, and I talked to Chief about this, and even Tom, is the quality of service from our dispatchers is not great. For us, as police, because I have worked with a lot of dispatchers. I mean, Lucas County, Sandusky County, Radnor was Wood County. I've worked with a lot of dispatchers. Again, it comes down to training. They have no
They have
training.
no
I
training.
can't
They don't
knock them at
understand.
their job.
Yeah.
Right, I can't knock them at their job because us, as the head of the police department, has not sent them to training to get
So there is
something
training
done.
available.
Oh, always,
And
always.
where's it at?
Owens, always.
Where's
Owens
it
offers
located?
everything. Even the sheriff's office, once upon a time, offered training for dispatches. It's available, it's really available.
And I
So-
think that's the first step we need to do.
But my point to all of that is that I personally have witnessed 3 medical episodes that our dispatchers were advised of by somebody running in the front door. I've seen it in my own
And
eyes
they handled
3
it.
times.
And they handled it?
They got a hold of next door and got EMS over here. One of them was a cardiac patient right out there in the apron of the fire department. Another one was a kid that lives right next door here. Came over because he got in peanuts. It was a whole. He wasn't even hardly breathing. It was a whole thing. So I have seen my own eyes 3 times that people have came in that door. We get countless phone calls from citizens, asking things. We get phone calls from people that know the police department number somehow and call, and they're not even in town, and they got problems going on, and she'll get a hold of the sheriff's office. Send them. I have seen that. So, that's kind of where, I've said that, they're not great because they're not police dispatchers that I've always worked with my whole careers, but I have seen citizens come in the door and be very thankful that we have a body sitting there and they can talk to directly about a bicycle getting stolen. Could be anything. So I've seen that, and I thought that is actually nice, because I worked at Walbridge with Tom, and Walbridge has a phone. Walbridge once upon a time had their own dispatchers. They went to the sheriff's office. They've been paying the sheriff's office ever since to dispatch for them, just like Lake Township. You walk in the front of Walbridge PD, there ain't nobody there. You can't get in past the double doors. You pick up the phone, it calls the sheriff's office, they answer, they dispatch a police officer. Hopefully it's not something bad, which has happened when I was at Walbridge. Somebody, her ex-husband was chasing her. She ran inside hoping she could get in and talk to the coppers. No coppers there because of the phone. So it just, there's what ifs all over the place on any of this stuff. And I don't know at what cost where we're at right now, especially with the,
Could you do me a favor? Could you check on training for the dispatch, where the next one is, what it costs?
Yeah.
Or the next couple where they're at, to see what the cost is.
Yep. We have a
I think that's
contract
where we
going.
need to start.
You guys approve every year.
Yep.
It's went up $100 next year. It's still a great deal. The cap on it is 1 through 25, I think. I don't know if they would label our dispatch as part of our police department. If that's true, then they would be able to go for free. They could have went for free for years. You guys have always had this bonus contract.
Well, that's what, I just got a question, probably a stupid question. Because I know we've hired a couple of dispatchers since I've been here. Why is there not a structured training program, and why are they not sent immediately to start training once they're hired? Why don't we just hire
Because we're
them?
led because I was told everything's good over there.
So we were just told everything's good, and we just ignored it? I mean,
No, we haven't ignored it. That's why the things that are going on right now are going on over there, which we'll be talking about at some other date. So no,
well, that's what who's responsible for that? That's what I'm asking.
Well, do we need to put it in our
chief
in our
is
hiring?
and then the mayor comes down to the mayor oversees that department.
Right, well, you haven't always been the mayor, so.
But what I'm saying, Mr. Richmond, is so I can speak for myself. Gone over there, I've had some concerns, talked to it, and I'm not going to go into details about. I was led to believe everything was okay, okay, so I didn't have no reason to question, but I had some concerns, right?
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, right? They're saying, okay, they've got everything taken care of, right? I didn't know that all this stuff was, I didn't know anything about. I'm not a professional over there. I don't know what's the requirement, so I leave it to the professionals to let me know, right? So I didn't know until Mr. Brochus came and told me all this stuff was available, and some other people that came to me and told me some things are available that we have not taken advantage of, and I said, what the heck is going on here?
Gotcha.
Right? So
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if that answers your question. I'm trying to answer your question. You're right. It's been neglected, but not just from recently.
Right.
And I know you know that. I know
Yeah,
you know
I'm not
that.
saying that.
No,
Yeah.
I know. So
Yeah.
I know of 3 police chiefs that nothing has changed over there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I-
So.
I-
And I think that's the problem.
It's-
We are now upping our standards
Yeah,
over there, and everyone needs trained
There
to
you
those
go.
standards.
We haven't
We
required.
have to train them from the very beginning.
So I know we've got policies over there,
Yes.
right? I mean, we've got.
We have dispatch policy.
Here's what I was gonna ask, is do you know, I don't wanna put you on the spot, Mr. Brochus, please don't think that I am, because if you don't have an answer, please say, oh, I don't know, I didn't. And I know that you will. Does that policy over there for dispatch require training or say that it's available, or that you know of, or?
It has it in there, and it talks about on-the-job training. Realistically, you need an FTO manual, so field training officer manual. So Tom and I, Tom, actually, I think you're the one who put the latest one together. We have an FTO manual, so the new police officer that we have goes through and we check off each scenario that we're talking about, how to do things, reports, all that kind of stuff. That's what dispatch needs, and it's
Yes.
been neglected
Yeah.
probably from day one. I mean, my assumption is day one, because I have never seen a manual to train the new officers.
Yes.
Or dispatchers.
Dispatch.
And I've seen how they get trained, and it is horrific.
So I know that there was training that went on, but I'm glad that you share that, because, I mean, when we hire them and bring them on, they sit with a dispatch, right? I mean, and I thought that, you know, in my ignorance, maybe, I thought that, okay, they're getting trained.
By somebody who was never really trained themselves.
Bingo, which makes
Right?
sense, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
that makes sense.
A
Which
cascading
leads us
effect.
to
Okay,
a lot of issues.
so we've got,
Dispatch.
you're gonna get us some information on training.
Yeah,
And if it's
sure.
free, or if there's a charge, or when we can get that.
Right, well,
Um,
yeah.
When are you planning?
Talking
to
about
have
CMI?
the
We're talking about-
sheriff
which
come?
one?
When
I don't know,
Oh.
you're the only one that said you wanted it, so
Well-
I will make a request and see
I'm
what's
just,
available.
I'm just concerned
I
that
agree.
we are jumping into something that's really gonna, one, cost us a lot of money and create more problems than if we just hang tight for a little while.
I share your concerns.
If nobody else wants the sheriff, what is everybody else's thoughts? Do we move forward? Do we wait? Do we have
Do
the
you wanna
sheriff
go,
come?
do you want me to make a see if I can schedule, we can just go sit down with him over there? We'll meet over there or whatever.
I'd like to hear from the rest of the council to see what they're thinking as far as all the information that was brought to us tonight on this CAD. Do you guys have concerns?
I think,
You mean
judging
Central
from
Square?
what we're hearing from these gentlemen, that we need to re-examine how we do everything over there. From the entire,
Oh, man, that's.
you know, you understand what I'm saying, like, just because we've done it this way, things like that, and I think you guys are already doing that on a lot of things.
Okay, but you're talking about the long-term goal, like, right? And I know that there's
Yeah,
things that
before we make major
Can
decisions.
I say this?
Yeah.
We don't even know right now, and see, now I'm starting to open up with,
Yeah.
you guys will, very soon, we're all gonna know
Yeah.
if there's an issue over there or not. Okay,
Understand.
that's, so then, I think we have that conversation as far as the department goes. I'm not saying there is or there isn't, right?
Are we working on a time frame with Central Square though, like? don't-
Yes, I think that's what he's
That's
concerned is.
good.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what,
we're going too fast, and with all the concerns he just brought to us, I think maybe we need to maybe put a halt to it and see what our options are, see if it's better. But I'd like to hear from you guys to see, do you think we need to, with all the concerns he just told us about CAD, or you all, because we've already passed the legislation to move forward, but if not, we may need to rescind that.
so the current concern is, now that I think about it, that's a signed agreement,
Right,
so that's,
I just, really
That's a
quick
sign.
here, because I'm getting things mixed up. CAD is not Central Square.
Technically, I would say yes.
Okay.
Same thing.
Thank you,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep, it's
I
just
had to-
easier. It's gonna deal with the police, reports and the police stuff.
Okay.
and
So
If we
CAD
signed a contract and we're liable to, then they're liable to train
Yep,
us and get everybody
I
trained.
think we need, that contract's pretty big. I think we need to go through and see exactly what they have to do on their end of that contract, right?
Right.
So let's take a second and see.
I'll make copies of the contract now, and
But dispatch needs training.
Yeah, so CAD is something that we use for Central Square, correct?
It is, it's all the same.
It's- yeah.
Central Square is just a company making it, so.
Okay.
They're the.
Okay.
So there's Central Square CAG, computer aided dispatch, and there's Central Square RMS, Record
Yes.
Management System.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
the fire department still wants, we're still planning on going on the new.
Well, I understand that. We're just talking about the
Okay.
police. I think the fire department and
And
EMS
EMS.
is going to do that. We're not, you know, discussing that. We're
Right,
just
yeah.
discussing what a mess it's gonna be for our police department right now, which
Yeah.
isn't funny, but,
But just so everybody knows, is I did get a hold of the company that's selling the product, and I talked to her directly. She had to check her contract to see if she was even supposed to train the police. Way she said, we don't train the police, we don't do that, so. But then we got an email from the sheriff's office stating they're going to do that.
Yeah.
The issue, what I told her, is that I can't get my dispatchers to those training
Right.
dates, there's no way.
Right.
Especially 6, and they're all part-time employees, and I'm sending them to 4 8-hour day trainings. Who's gonna work here? You know, so that's.
somebody dropped the ball on informing us. that we're gonna have to
The
work with
trainings.
us. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because they even said that there's only 20 allowed per class, and this is the best part, is I saw Perrysburg City said, well, I have 17.
So they're gonna have to add more training days.
There's no possible way.
Right.
But she had no other dates for me when I called her directly, and she's the
Right.
one doing the training.
Well,
So
they're probably gonna get
this
those
is the
done and
problem.
reschedule some more, but,
Right.
um,
When we do these training, and I'm not a guy that doesn't like the new stuff, I'm not saying that.
Sure.
You know, I think progress is great, and I've always strive for that, I always send everybody to training, but, you know, sometimes when you're talking a major overhaul like what this is, we really gotta examine it, it's gotta be, we gotta be prepared, you know, months in advance. So, and my point to the chief is like, you guys have 20 years worth of reports here. Where's that going? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. And Josh has been working on it. You can't, you have murders, you have to keep that stuff. It's by law, so I don't know who goes down with the ship, but but it ain't this guy. This guy. So anyways, you want to move on?
yes.
Well,
Okay.
what do you want me to do? I mean, is there,
Well, I think we came to an agreement a few minutes ago.
I'm not sure we did.
I don't think we did.
No,
So
at least on
what-
one thing. Wait, please.
Yep.
please. Do we want Mark to come over?
That's what we were trying to figure out.
We should answer one question before we go on to the next.
Right. What I was going to say is, what is he going to tell us?
That would be
Like,
my
what is
question,
the,
too.
he's gonna come and try to sell it.
Mhm.
He wants it.
Yeah.
So,
It's-
is it gonna benefit us?
are you looking to buy without knowing, right? We've already sold, we've already bought into it. We've already signed the
Right,
agreement,
but what I'm
guys.
saying is, to then have him come down and start, I don't have,
Well, so let's look at the agreement and we'll come to a conclusion Wednesday. How about we do that? Look at the agreement, see what we can't review that now.
It's all printing.
So,
I would think even the company that's selling the product, get them on the phone.
yeah.
You know, I mean, they're the ones, you know, can you offer our dispatchers training and how much they're gonna cost and how many days can we spread this thing out? I mean, we could probably.
yeah, but I think you already did that, didn't you? You
Well, this
called
is
her.
all she gave me. This is all that's in her email to all the police chiefs that are on this thing. They're those two training weeks.
All right. So,
Training weeks.
all right. So,
And she had no other dates when I called her on the phone.
maybe I'll just take it upon myself to reach out to Mark and see what in the heck's going on. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just, all right.
All right, we're gonna go on.
I am gonna ask you guys to push off the funding for the 501c discussion tonight, because I am gonna be leaving, and I wanna be here for that discussion. But you guys do whatever you want, but I mean, you guys, we're gonna talk
I'm
about.
gonna bring it up, I have some questions on it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it later, anyhow, but if you guys wanna continue to talk about it, but I'm not gonna be here much longer. And he's got some very important information I'm sure everybody might be aware of, I think, for your next topic.
Oh, next.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one.
so, as I'm sure most of you are aware, it was all over Facebook, I don't know Facebook, but I was told it was on Facebook. That we did a drug raid down on State Street, everybody's aware of that. It was very successful, they ended up getting, crystal meth, some pipes, scales, cocaine, forgot about that one.
Allegedly, right? It's all alleged.
Oh, no. It's been tested.
Oh, it's been
So,
tested, I know that.
Yeah, but with no charges yet. So anyways,
Gotcha.
that's what happened when you guys saw the sheriff's office down there with their SWAT team and their big trucks and all that kind of stuff. So when we've known about this for over 2 years. There's a lot of drug activity in North Baltimore, and there is in every little town. I'm not knocking, I'm just saying there always is. But we have known about this for a couple of years. We were tipped off by Hancock County Drug Task Force team 2 years ago about that particular location with drug activity. So that's what we were informed of. So Officer Buckley, along with the Sheriff's Drug Task Force people, began doing a drug investigation is what they did. And it has taken quite a while for them to do this investigation, to come up with the results that offer them the ability to go to a judge and actually get a signed warrant for the property. So I don't know what was on Facebook, but I know there's always different things. So the warrant allowed them and the sheriff's office to go to that property. They could have tore the door off the hinges if they wanted, but they just ordered everybody out of the property, and went in and did a full search of the property, and they found these items that are in there. So the charges are coming down the road. We never hurry on charges. I know there's questions, why was nobody cuffed and stuff? Well, that's not a thing. We don't ever charge anybody until we get the results back from BCI in Bowling Green. They actually do our chemical analysis testing that is 100% accurate.
Unless you go beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that somebody's guilty of a crime.
Correct. We don't ever.
I'm not talking about with drugs, I'm talking about,
right.
You'll make arrests if
We do
you
not.
know somebody's guilty of a crime.
We wouldn't file a warrant on somebody if we're not 100% sure that they were involved in whatever they did. So, but anyways, that's what happened on that. So once we get the results back, then there'll be charges and some things will come down the pike. So that's what happened there. The reason I bring this to everybody's attention is obviously Officer Buckley did a great job because he was basically the primary in all of this. He's a relatively new officer, as everybody knows here. He hasn't been here that long. And the sheriff's office drug task force team was interested in a couple of things. One of the things were they would like to have one of our officers with them doing this type of stuff in and around North Baltimore, not just in, also around. So not in. So everybody understands that. And
right.
There's always kickback on that stuff. But that's what they are requesting, is that we give them one of our officers, we are paying the salary for, to work to do these type of things.
In North Baltimore and around
in
North
and
Baltimore.
around North Baltimore. So, not my decision to make, not my choice. I'm just letting you guys, giving you guys a heads up that that's what they requested. They said they don't come in and strictly do North Baltimore because they have all of Wood County. And they actually have some people that help with other places.
Sergeant Brocious, I appreciate that request, right? Because I think with drugs, everybody, illegal drugs, everybody has to do their part, right? I mean, if we really want to fight this thing, but my concern is, my concern doesn't say that I wouldn't support something like that. I mean, obviously it comes down to, but we can't even get a full staff now.
I've already said that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
No, I've said that to them.
Oh, okay. Like we're
I have a spot open if we can't fill, and I'm working by myself.
Right.
I'm
you don't want our officers working by themselves,
right?
For your own protection.
Yeah. Well, in any way, I did explain that. I said, perhaps down the road, this might be a great little thing to run past you guys. See if you're on board. This is something you want to do. It is a possibility. It's hanging out there. That the offer was extended by their drug task force.
How effective do you think it would be in protecting our community from the drugs? Is there, in your opinion, I really don't know an answer to this question.
Right.
No, I kind of asked you a little bit.
Are you asking if there's a benefit to us?
No, is there well,
Issue.
first we need to identify, do we have a drug problem in the village of North Baltimore? We just had a pretty good bust. Is there still a problem?
I think there is and always will be.
So could we clean it up?
Well, yeah. The problem you have is that, today I did a lot of paperwork. Now, granted that isn't normally what I'm supposed to be doing, but I did have other calls for service. I mean, one of them was a domestic and a stolen car. So I've been working on that the majority of the day, which means I'm not out there looking for drugs, right? Because I'm taking care of it. So that's kind of the issue that we run into is the police officers are doing the police officer stuff and don't have time to do the extra stuff. And this is the reason that they said to me, they said, hey, bring it up to your council, is that we would like to do this, and this is what this person would be doing, not answering calls for service. But we run into a couple of issues. So that's part one of what I'm bringing to you. So the other part would be the other option you have is a canine car. We talked about that in the past. They're expensive. I get it. Everything is. But it does offer you the benefit of having the officer here, answering calls for service, and then obviously rooting around for drugs.
Right.
The caveat to that is the drug task force team said that would be fantastic. because the sheriff's office, Mark isn't about that stuff, doesn't really play a lot of interest in that type of stuff.
So they have one in the area.
So if we had one, they would really like that, and perhaps they would, come and do some more stuff in here, like they did this time, along with if we were able to ship our dog out.
So more coordinated
To do,
efforts.
yes, which is what this was.
Working
This
together.
was,
rather
yes.
than-
Now, Chief and I talked about this at length, back when we were going to do this before, and I don't know what happened, but it just stopped. But, my personal opinion is if you have a canine and a guy, and he's working here, the only time they can be called out of here is when he's working here. What you don't want is the officer being off, and at 2 AM getting a call to go help the sheriff's office out on 75, and then you have to be here at 7. That's a problem. So that was my personal opinion. That's the only offer I laid on the table, is I thought that, that would be a policy procedure thing that you would want to put in place.
Sergeant Brush, can I interrupt you for
Yeah,
a
go
moment?
ahead.
Mayor has to leave, and I
Yeah,
wanted to let
sorry.
you know that.
I apologize, I gotta get across the street.
You had asked for,
Yes.
the goose information,
Yeah.
so I've got, this is on the spray that you spray on the yard. It has to be reapplied if it rains.
Have you seen any of this yet, Josh?
Josh, is that the same one you gave me?
It's
Sorry to change
what we
gears for a
worked on
second.
before.
Okay, yes.
But we went on, the council, other than Eric, I don't know if you remember
not
going
seen
over this. We went over all of this
Okay.
stuff.
Sorry to change gears, guys. I gotta go.
There are other things here as far as, different, like,
Applications?
bridge you can put over top of the water. And then there's the machine that if you just wanna deal with them and pick up after them. There's a machine that you can hold to like a,
Oh my goodness.
hold
Gee,
behind
that's
like
a lot of reading.
And then this is just some of the stuff, this is some of the stuff that the Canadian geese carry as far as coccidia and E. coli and what a danger they are to our
So we need to come up with an effective plan for that. And thank you.
Can you send me and,
Apologize, I
all that
gotta get
too,
across the
please?
street.
Pardon
Can
me?
you send Josh Long and I that also
Yep,
via email?
yep. Josh, I think, called on the
Right with
equipment
it.
one time, and didn't you call on the
Brian
chemical
and I
as well?
both looked into a bunch of stuff and.
And the
I think
chemical
it was
as well?
deemed, not very economical.
Okay.
Well, like I said, it's ongoing, it's a
It's
treatment that
ongoing,
needs-
that's the
Right.
thing.
That's why I
It's
said
ongoing.
the other option is just to live with them and pick up after them.
Anything else regarding the police before that?
Well, you had a police cruiser on here, what
Yeah,
what is that?
Maybe split, we table that, or we're talking about the.
The only other thing is I was gonna say is that if you decided you didn't want to spend the money for a canine car, perhaps next year we would budget, which we already have money in there for, a new cruiser, to get a new cruiser. That's all.
Okay. Alrighty, I appreciate all the information you brought to us, and we'll look forward to getting the other information that, on the training.
Okay.
So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you've done as well. Appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna move on to Public Works. Betsy, Paula.
Oh, you
You guys are so anxious to get in here to be able to leave.
So, if I may, if you turn the page to page 3 on the new committee of the whole, I have ordinance 2023-06. Back in the day, council had agreed on creating a part-time position of a seasonal park maintenance worker. I'd like to bring that back up for discussion. I know it was never actually done, as far as I know, after this was passed. The reason why I want to do this is kind of twofold. One, I think our park needs a little bit more loving care, more attention. I know Josh and his guys do a great job, but they are spread out all over the village, literally, getting stuff done. Second part is goose harassment. I think that this takes more man-hours than our current guys can usually commit to it. I mean, like I
One
said
of the
before.
reasons it was created.
I have a question on that. Josh, are they hatching babies down there?
I've not seen
Not this
anything yet,
time of year,
spring.
that's in the spring.
Well, they raised 2 batches, but did you see them this year? Did they hatch babies?
Oh, yeah.
It was early, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Because that goes back to the old theory that they don't have nests down there.
Well, I think they're down in the.
The creek area.
It was a
Yeah.
trick, okay, yeah.
So my proposal is we bring this back up, or we try to find someone to take the part-time seasonal park maintenance position, probably in March or April. and helps out Josh a little bit more, and again, more attention to the park and the goose harassment.
Hey Mason, what are you doing on your days off? You knew it was coming, you just
I
knew.
just think we could never, we posted, like, there was never any interest in it.
I think Chase got a couple, only a couple applicants, because I think the council did agree to advertise for that.
But then I think at one point, we kind of, for some reason, we pulled
Well,
back on it. And-
The applicants were not very desirable, according to Chase,
I mean,
and,
we're not even paying minimum wage, so.
Right.
well, and that's part of it, or they're one step away from Blakely's. But, the other, yeah, that's, yeah.
I mean, $50 an hour says in this ordinance, but this doesn't prohibit us from increasing that. So I think we should consider it again later, early in 2026.
Yeah.
Yes, but.
Yes?
Yes.
I just want to add from the financial side, the parks is funded out of the general fund. Around 55,000 goes from the general fund to the parks. So naturally, it's going to be great if we get seasonal, it's going to be additional cost. So that's what everything comes down to at the end, cost and money. So we'll get, like, as far as like my topics that it ties in, it's not on the list you got. But the ordinance coming for next meeting's transfer of funds. So at this point, my recommendation on that is to put 85,000 into the streets, capital fund. So there's a chance that that might have to become 75 instead of 85. So just where do you want the money to go? Really, so do you want to go to parks? Do you want to go towards a new building? Or, obviously it could come from somewhere else, but somebody has to give up that money to go to parks, so that's just my take from the financial side.
I would like to see more equipment put into the parks, spending the money on that. And then, once we get it nice, then I would say, yeah, we could.
You're bringing playground equipment.
Yes, playground equipment and.
Before we take care of the goose problem, you mean,
Well,
or before we hire somebody?
Well, before we hire somebody.
Okay.
I'm just saying is if we can, we're getting by right now, but our parks are,
Let's look at next
we're gonna
year.
start throwing money into more employees. I'd rather see our park get better before we.
So the plan right now at the park is, well, first off, we have all of our design, our construction costs are designed for both the reservoir and the park stormwater projects from Colliers. We have that all done. It's all done right now. We have priced over $500,000 for both projects combined. So the idea was we get the construction done for the stormwater, and then we rearrange our park, get more equipment then. We're still looking at funding opportunities. We have another meeting next week with Colliers. We have already had a couple ideas to get that constructed and then put equipment in, and that could take, again, all 2026. So yes, I want more equipment, but the reason why we submitted for benches and bike racks and railing on the sled hill with the Parks District grant was because we don't want to put more equipment in and move it around a year later. So just giving you
And another thought on that too, as in the past, what we've done too is hired somebody to mow the cemeteries or something like that, just to take some pressure off these guys during mowing season. So I'm just throwing it out there as a thought.
On that,
And then we don't have to pay for benefits and
Right.
all that.
So subcontract it out.
Yeah.
was our mowing light this year because of the drought?
Thank goodness it was, yes.
But we can't count on that for next year.
We don't need
No,
that
no,
next year.
no, exactly.
You seen our reservoir?
Yeah.
It's down.
Okay,
Walls are too high, I can't see that.
so what is the consensus on even moving forward on seasonal help? What's everybody think on that?
I like what Tim's saying. I really think we need to make the improvements to the park, to justify having somebody there. you know, part-time.
So I guess what we could do is reach out and get some estimates on contracts to do some of the mowing, just to see if maybe that would help out and not cost us as much. Especially if the mayor decides to implement any of the information that I gave to him, that is gonna create more man-hours to take care of the situation, which I know Josh is just over there going, yippee.
So the idea is to subcontract some of the mowing out to free up time so they can.
That's what Tim was saying.
Take care of like goose problem too? Or should we also
Well,
subcontract
the
goose
goose
problem?
problem, if you were to do the cleanup after them, that would go along with mowing. The spraying could as well, because once you mow, you spray, it's good until it rains again, then it has to be resprayed. So, you know,
What if we subcontract the whole goose problem?
well, that's gonna be expensive, but.
He's seeing dollar signs.
From the financial side, hiring, contracting the mowing out does not make sense as opposed to the seasonal employee.
Oh,
You're
okay.
gonna contract it out probably for $50 an hour.
Oh,
I mean, that's my view. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
I've actually never given it any thought.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
This year it's been cheap.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can also revisit it in the spring,
Yeah, which
once
is-
we figure out if we're going to implement something to take care of the geese, which is gonna create more man-hours, and then, you know, see how things go. I mean, this year, we wouldn't have needed that extra person, I'm guessing, because there wasn't a whole lot of mowing going on. So maybe we wait till spring and see what decisions we've made with the park.
And realistically, a seasonal employee, you're not gonna get probably till college and high school's out, right?
Sure.
Because that's your target.
and I
for
think
seasonal.
that this whole thing, like, to bring back the seasonal employee, Josh actually come up with it, and I think your thinking was that you would have somebody there from 7 to 3:30 anyways every day to run these geese
Something
off.
like that, yeah.
Because we're not able to.
No.
So.
Well, you're able.
And not,
You're
well,
busy.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to go out and do something and come back and keep checking for these geese.
Right.
But, I mean, there were a lot of times they weren't there.
But again, I think we should, I kinda wanna table this until more conversations in January, February, March.
Well, give the mayor time to look over that information I got him and see what direction he wants to go with it, so.
Okay.
What's your seasonal time? What are you looking at from?
For cost or
No,
time?
no,
I
yeah.
don't know, probably.
Was it 8 months? I thought it was
March
supposed to
to, I'm not sure, I can't remember the ordinance of it this part, but March to October, March to September, or something like that.
Something like that.
Realistically, you're probably not gonna get somebody, unless it's in that May to end of August timeframe, you're gonna get somebody that's on summer break.
We might take that. We might take that.
Or maybe better than nothing.
Right.
It would free up your guys, I mean, is that, have
See,
you done that in
this-
the past, Josh, like, had somebody?
That's how I hired on at the city back in '95, and we had, that position was there for
Yeah.
many, many, many years, and then, I don't know how long's it been since we've had a park guy, 10, 15 years?
That's gotta have been every bit of that.
To me, it's a college kid thing.
Sure.
I have a hard time finding somebody in March, I would imagine. And we get more poor applicants or whatever.
Okay. Josh, do you have anything else for
Oh,
us?
no.
Okay. Any questions for Josh? We're gonna move on to public utilities. Ryan?
That's lead, not.
Yeah, I know.
I already got on that.
Nobody caught that and let me know the first.
I did see it today. Right now, we're working with Jones and Henry on our lead service line replacement. They're doing the engineering aspect, design aspect of the job. And then we're also working with another entity for funding. Right now, we're just working through the logistics of everything. Jones and Henry's doing a good job at this point. I talked to them today, so they knew what my expectations of the job would be and how the job would be getting done. The majority of the service lines that will be getting replaced, of course, we'll have to dig up the road in some areas, but we are not anticipating open trenching any of them. Currently, right now, the majority of them, we believe we can get done without open trenching. Dig a hole at the main, dig a hole at the meter, pull a new line through is what we're saying we can do. So other than that, we're looking to have that project move forward in 2026. It has to be done by 2027. Overall cost, we're still waiting on that, from the engineers on what they believe the estimated cost is gonna be, which I would think that we should be getting here within I think the next month. They're supposed to be sending me drawings by the end of this week for my approval on how the job needs to be done and handled. Other than that, it's kind of, we're still up in the air on the details of everything and the cost associated with.
You said that needs to be done by 2027, is that the beginning or end, or?
End of.
End of. Then, is this company or a company is going to take care of this, or is that all on you?
It will be contracted out.
Okay.
At this point, that's the direction we're going. And of course, that will be all cost. We don't have the manpower to do it. There's 84 service lines that need to be replaced at this point. For us to be able to do that, and you think, you got 2 years to get it done, but it takes them, half a day or so for us to do one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with no other issues or anything else that needs to be taken care of. So we just don't have the staffing to do it right now.
The 84 that need done, have the homeowners been notified of that?
Yes.
They know which ones they are?
Yes.
Okay.
We by law had to notify everybody. And actually it's on our webpage. Village North Baltimore, if you look underwater, there should be a complete list of all the service lines within the village and who has lead lines in there.
Okay.
And we have to notify them once a year that they still have lead lines until we replace them.
Okay.
So the goal is to have them done by end of 2026.
Okay.
I'm guessing the subcontractor also disposes of what they pull up.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And then the combined sewer overflow?
So currently, right now, I believe we signed contract. Am I right in saying that with Peterson?
Yeah, yes.
So.
No, I think they still need to get back from Jones and Henry, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll look into that. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
we had a bid opening 3 weeks ago or so.
About 3 weeks.
And Peterson, which is a company that done work for us previously in the village. They actually were the company that built our sludge press and installed it and done all the upgrades at the sewer treatment plant. As far as I know, as far as I've been a witness to, they're a good company, so I don't believe that we'll have any issues with them. They do good work. They were roughly $30,000 cheaper. Is that right?
I think we get more than that.
Okay. It was quite a bit of a difference. Josh and I went out and I explained this, basically the project, the scope of work that's going to take place out there and what it is actually going to do. Currently, right now, through the EPA, in the past, they called it a CSO, which is combined sewer overflow. So rainwater got into the sanitary system, therefore the facility couldn't handle the extra water, it would just discharge straight to the creek. Once we done the sewer separation, then we're not supposed to be getting any rainwater into our system, so we were mandated to close the CSOs. We closed one on East Water Street years ago. I refused to close the other one because of storm issues, because we still have water infiltrating our system somewhere. And I fought that battle for about 7 years, and now they're saying you are doing it. So that's where we're at. At the end of the day, I said we cannot close it because if our sewer system backs up, we do not want it backing up in our residents' homes.
Mm-hmm.
So, hence this project, they're allowing me to at least put a gate in, so now we'll know 100% for certain when we're discharging, and when we discharge, then it's a lot of paperwork. It's notifying Health Department, EPA, calculating what is being discharged, testing, that we have to do in-house. But hopefully, during this whole process, we've met with Ohio Rural Water. I've met with them a couple times, and they have flow meters that they can put into our sanitary system. So when we get rain, it will say where flow is picking up. Once we determine the quadrant of where it's picking up, then we can start spreading out in that quadrant to see where this excess of water is coming from. So when I say excess of water, our average daily pumping is roughly 300,000 gallons a day, ballpark. When we get an inch of rain, we pump 1.5 million through our plant. So when I say excess of water, it's excess of water. Before our sewer separation, if we got a quarter inch of rain, we would be discharging to the creek for days. Since we've done our sewer separation, I believe we've only discharged 3 times. But we don't want to, in my opinion, we don't ever want to permanently close something that we have no other way to relieve the system. Granted, you know, nobody really wants raw sewage going into the creek, but at the end of the day, it's better than people's homes, in my
I was
opinion.
just gonna say, it's better than going into the basement of somebody's house.
Yeah, so, and then, once again, so
this gate you're putting in will allow us to access it if need be.
correct, so that will be a structure, and that will be, it's gonna be a solar powered structure with a light on it, so basically if the light kicks on, our level is starting to rise, and we really need to start monitoring that. Because right now, you don't know until you go actually lift a manhole and like, yeah, it's coming up, or no, it's not.
Right.
Plus, when the creek gets so high, it starts actually dumping back in on us. So now we have the creek trying to feed us, and yeah, so this gate will actually seal that all off. So hopefully that will help alleviate some of the issues too.
Awesome. I do have a question on remember when we were talking about we were gonna have a text that we could get or sign up for
Yeah,
the
my
water department?
360.
Has that happened?
Yeah, we're still working on that.
Okay.
So currently, right now, I actually just met with Corey Williams today. So we do actually, it's limited to who is actually using it right now. I currently am using it. 3 of my employees is using it, and April Dick is also using it currently. However, there's some issues with it, and I just met with him today to express my issues. And he asked how it was going. I'm like, well, you tell me in 10 minutes when this meeting's over, and we'll see. So currently, right now, he agreed with everything that I was saying. So it was supposed to be set off of actual usage. So, which it kind of is, but it's not. So I set up stupid notifications like, I'm out of town, if I use 10 gallons of water, I want to know. Well, the first time I done it, I didn't get it for 12 hours. Well, what good does that do me? And that does me absolutely no good.
So is it supposed to be real time, what you're using?
It won't be exact real time. So basically, the way it's supposed to work is our meters read all the time. Basically, once an hour, hour and a half, it uploads to our system. So I would say the way it's supposed to be, at most 2-3 hours, you should be getting a notification, and it's not working that way now. So before we release it to people, we want to make sure it's working as
advertising.
Yes, 100%. Because right now, if I have something going on in my house, which this morning before our meeting, I went home, because I set it to 5 gallons. Out of town, 5 gallons. I went home, flushed the toilets twice, ran water, used 13 gallons of water, because I looked it up once I seen the reading. So I'd done that at 8:30. I'd actually seen the new reading at 10 o'clock, and then it changed. So he took pictures of all that because, so our system actually reads all the time, 96 times a day. It's constantly reading. So the way it's set up is if water goes through that meter constantly, it sends us a notification that somebody has a leak. However, if somebody has, let's say, a toilet that's sticking and it runs for 4 or 5 hours, they come home and figure it out and jiggle the handle, and then it goes to 0. then it doesn't report it as a leak to us. It reports it as an intermittent leak, but those, we have like 100 of them. So we'd have 100 of those a day. We don't have the manpower to do that. So what we've done is set it up that if it's a continuous leak, whether it's, I mean, we literally go to people's houses that is 1 gallon an hour, or sometimes less than that. If it shows continuous use for 24 hours, we get alerted. But it has to be for a complete cycle. If not, then we're not. There's an area that it does show up, but like I said, we have over 100 of those to go through every single day. We just don't have the staffing to do that. So back to that, yes, we are working on it, but we're also working on a single sign-in.
Single sign-on.
So you can actually, if you're using that app, pay your bill through it also. So that's gonna take 3 to 4 months to get that done.
2 to 4.
But
There.
once we get it working how it's supposed to be working, then we'll probably have council get on it. Because I don't want somebody to think, oh yeah, it's gonna notify me, and then, well, why didn't it notify me? And then we have to answer 10,000 questions when I'm trying to get it resolved before we release it.
Okay.
There was some confusion on, we signed up for Neptune My 360, the village did, then we changed and added on the single sign-on. Well, that memo didn't get transferred from one department to the other, so that delayed it by 2 or 3 weeks, really. We go into a training and like the lady don't even know we're supposed to have single sign-on, you know, so then, the good news is we're not in a hurry for this, right? But that it's coming along slowly because single sign-on adds a whole nother layer. That's where the 2 to 3 months comes in because it's just that much more complex. So, like, they're working on it, but it's not gonna be ready to roll out with single sign-on for a while, so it's you're probably not gonna hear much about it until.
And honestly, we were shooting for the beginning of the year to roll it out.
Yeah,
So we'll probably be February, March, I'm assuming, is when it'll get
Well,
rolled
I just
out.
hadn't heard much about it.
Yeah, and actually, so, like the admins, I believe myself, Josh, April is all admins, correct? So we can actually get on there and see who's actually signed up. So, you know, we'll know, you know, if you signed up, or Dave, or whoever signs up, we'll actually be able to see that, who's actually signed up for it, and then at that point, you know, if we still got the people that we're constantly going to, you know, we can really push them to, hey, you know, it'd be beneficial for you to have this.
Right.
And it's kind of the direction we're hoping to go.
All right, appreciate the update on that. Anything else that you want to share with us?
No, that's it.
Any questions? All right, we are going to move on.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Enjoy those tacos, guys.
Yeah. See you guys, thank you.
A little late now, but it'll be all right.
There'll only be chicken left.
All right, we're going to move on to finance and technology.
Turn it over to Josh for the website.
So, village website, just curious what council's opinions are, if there are any opinions on the current website right now. I believe there have been discussions, I know Chase, I think, worked on it a little bit, when Lewis here, but it's open floor for the most part. I have done some research, I had one demo with Civic Plus, which we already use other software. I like their product, but again, I'm not gonna move forward, and we have other things going on, and I get that. But again, just open floor on the website. Any opinions?
Never been to it.
Never been on our website, okay. Anyone else?
I mean, I already mentioned, Josh, my concern was, it's part of MuniLink, which is like Neptune My 360. My concern is currently you go on the website and pay the water bill. If we switch to somebody else, the compatibility of it, that's my concern. I don't know if it's compatible or not, but.
Well, but can we put a link maybe to the new?
Probably.
Probably could.
Yeah, so that, I mean, if we
I haven't
can't.
looked that far into it.
We just get an app to pay our water bill?
I think we can work on that.
Why don't you
I'll
just
see with
go
the single
through-
sign on in reality and how it works, it may be. it may
Set
go
it up
that
for
far.
bill pay.
Huh?
Set it up for bill pay. Mine's paid automatically every month.
Really?
22.
I think the website's fine. I think you guys, now that you're updating it, I think it's great.
Yep.
putting information out there, announcements between that and the village Facebook page, I think.
I've
we're
had a
good job.
smattering, I'm not saying huge, about 6 people, citizens that have commented to me about it, they like it.
The website itself, okay, or you want the uploading of the minutes and stuff?
Yeah.
The content.
Content, yeah.
Okay, content's one thing, about the actual layout, the usability, any opinions on that? Okay,
All right, I think you're doing a great job updating, that's the next.
Yeah, we're trying to, I mean, but we could do that same thing on a better looking website. I'm saying that kind of subjectively, but I am totally fine with our current website overall, but, okay, that's all.
All right, 27 pay periods in 2026.
You
I'm
got this
not-
one,
well-
you got this one.
Well, you're the one who's the pusher on this one, so I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Can I like fumble that to Matt, maybe?
Somebody take
Hot
it.
potato?
Yeah, see that buck going around, I brought it up
Buck stops here.
a couple months ago, and then this, you're gonna have to kind of share, we don't have many copies, but this is, I asked April if she'd make this, she currently she's made these in the past. It's like, hey, can you make us a sheet up just to prove that there's 27 pay periods, you know, that I'm not telling a BS story. So, basically, it goes by the date that the payroll's released on Thursday. So, the first payroll release date, January 1st is on Thursday, 2026. December 31st is on Thursday. So there is 27 pay periods in 2026 rather than 26.
Which doesn't affect hourly people, it affects
So
salary.
it does, they get paid an extra pay.
Yeah.
It affects, it's big in my world because it's an extra payroll, which is roughly 53,000. So, got a budget for it. So, I mean, is it that big of a deal? No, but in my world, yes, because it's money. So, that's just me, it's just more just making, my end is making you aware of it.
Have we checked 2027?
If I go back, it happens once every 11 years.
Once every, so it's just gonna go back to 26?
Yeah, go back 26, just the way the calendar falls.
Oh, there's not much we can do about it.
Yeah, it's just more informative.
Well, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thanks for the bad news.
Yeah, let you guys know, if I can raise resolution and all that stuff, and,
Right.
yeah, paychecks.
So we've had budget meetings, so when I'm sitting at the computer, rather than figuring it 26, I got figured by 27, you know, this is the reality of it all.
Right.
Did you wanna tell me your concern, Josh, or, cause you told me you wanted to die on that hill?
I went down that hill. So, my concern, I mean, I like to maintain the paycheck, just for, I like to maintain the paycheck. Right, if you were not to give an increase, then, I mean, I think we will, but to be determined, council. If we don't give an increase, my paychecks or salary paychecks will be less than what they are now.
Cause they're divided
Per
by
paycheck.
27 instead of 26, so his paycheck is gonna be.
So it affects that, and
But
How
it's
much
still
less?
annually the same.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
when it's all.
Yeah, so, but it's just broke down one more week, so his
Right.
paycheck's gonna be a little bit light on the 2 paycheck
Yeah,
months.
and it's more the principle on it, just, I think paychecks
Well,
should be
fortunately
maintained.
for you, we now have a hill that's in the park, so.
Yeah, and you'll be fine.
You're gonna see my body over there.
You'll be good.
All right, we
That's
are
all.
going to move
Yeah, bring that
on.
up. I like that.
The funding of the 501c3. What information, if any, have you gotten for us?
I called Sadowski yesterday, the attorney for the North Baltimore Festival Organization and our Hook and Ladder. That's how one came after that. I left a message with the receptionist, said I want to talk to him about these things. He hasn't called me back yet. I apologize for not getting these answers to you.
My understanding of Hook and Ladder is not compromised in any way. It was formed somehow or other before even our fire department was formed.
Way
Is
back.
that correct?
Way back.
No.
So what do you
The
know about that?
501c3 just came,
Oh, that was
5 years.
Hook and Ladder's been a long time.
The 501c3 just came probably
A few
5
years
years
ago?
ago.
Okay.
Oh.
Maybe
Okay.
6.
I don't have any good answers for council, and again, I do apologize
Have
for
you
that.
reached back out to Paul? Because when we talked to him
No, I-
before, it was, he didn't even believe that we were forming this. So, because he hadn't heard any information on it, he wasn't addressed with it.
I don't believe I have much more information to provide him. So
See, I wish the
Time.
mayor was here because
Well, I
he
do
said
too.
he's talked to Paul about it. And there was no problem about it.
Well, now Paul indicated he was not consulted at all, and I have that in an email, so.
Well, we can
push it
discuss
out.
that on Wednesday.
Right.
When
Right.
Paul and the mayor is
Well,
here.
assuming Paul's here, I'm not sure what his schedule looks like for everything else. It's a different day, obviously. I'll double check, make sure he's here.
But one other thing I wanted to throw, I mean, it's just like anytime we donate, because we actually donated to the festival.
There was no
Yeah.
501c3, we couldn't have donated.
Yeah, we couldn't legally
We set it
donate
aside
it
for the
without it being
festival.
set up yet. That's the
We
problem.
did
That's the
not
problem, the
donate
legality of
to,
it.
we set it aside to be used for the festival.
Yeah, this entity paying for the festival.
Correct, correct. We
Council-
didn't donate anything because
Village
there
of
was no
North Baltimore paying
501c3
for
to
the
donate it
festival.
to.
Yeah, and I think the question is it technically legal that the village money was used to pay for the 501c3?
Well, it hasn't been used yet.
Right, 100%, but we just need to get that
Right.
box checked. Is it legal or not? That's the question that we're
Right.
dealing with.
And
right?
Because
Well,
if you
it's
do
legal
quick
to fault.
research, no.
Right, 100%, yeah, if you're a Google lawyer, it tells you it's not legal, and the
Right.
village cannot do that.
But we need to hear from somebody,
Okay.
whether it's legal or not, and if there's hoops to jump through, because legally, if we pay for this, we own this, and I don't even know if it's legal for council, to approve something for like that for the village to
Yeah.
own. It may be, but we don't know those answers, and that's where our concern lies, and we need those answers. But we haven't paid for it yet, correct?
No,
Okay.
I have not seen an invoice.
And I
so the
hope we
answer
do
is
not
no.
pay for that until we get our answers, because we could be in a lot hotter trouble if we do,
Just to make sure it's legal and above board and get that signed
before
off.
it's paid for.
Right, so I was a little confused of why that we set aside ended up in a discretionary fund and not just earmarked.
Well,
What exactly?
When we said the $10,000 for the
Discretionary fund.
festival.
the 14,000, that was in the mayor's discretionary fund.
Like,
Why
why
did
was that
it-
put in the discretionary fund? Why was that?
Tony's the one that put it in the same fund.
Okay.
Now, can it be separated? Yes. Has it been separated? Yes. D asked for a detailed list of the festival, like expenses.
Right.
So, even though it's in the same fund, it can be broke apart because it's 410, right? And I can just track the expenses. Now, is it an idea? No.
Okay.
But, when she asked for a list, and I emailed it to her. List of expenses for Village Festival.
So they were separated out, because, if anything, I think that's one of the things we probably have to do. If it's legal to have a 501c3, then I think we need to have everything separated, so that if somebody comes in and asks, what has this money gone to, where's that? We can
And,
quickly pull it up.
and if we get those boxes checked and we determine that, and we're told that it is legal going forward, it's going to be much easier because it will be, here's 5,000, whatever the village, whatever we decide on, will be donated to that 501c3. But we need to make, before we start doing all that, we gotta make sure what we've done so far is legal.
Right.
And we would rely on Paul for that, and if Paul says we need to talk to
The auditor.
the auditor of state of Ohio, then that's what we need to do. And D, if you want to be that, if you want to be that person, then I think then we discuss that next week, and someone from here needs to call.
I'm willing to do that.
Yep.
We just need answers. And,
100%.
That's why I think why I asked Josh not to bring this up, just because of, until he got the answers from the lawyer who set up the 501c3 for the festival and the fire department. I mean,
And I'm
till-
not,
till we
I'll be honest
have
with you,
them
I'm not,
answers.
I'm not sure I'm gonna be 100% comfortable with his answers unless he can show me something in writing that says, yes, it's legal for you to own this. Him just telling me, I will accept the auditor's office telling me that, but another attorney, Paul's not even sure, he's the one that brought the concern up to us and said, and when I said, well, is this 501c3 even legal for us to have, he said, to my knowledge, the village is not paying for that. But the village obviously is supposed to be paying for that, and if that's the case, we may not be able to if it's illegal to do. And that's what we need to know before we go any further.
Like I said, the only bad thing is we've already got one. I mean, with the fire department, it is a.
But
But the fire
that's
department
not
is
the
a separate
village's.
entity.
Right.
Yeah, like, I talked to the
We
state
own-
auditors.
We own the fire department. That is the, North Baltimore owns the fire department.
But they
Just
do
like we
not-
own the EMS.
They do not have control of Buckeye Hook and Ladder. Buckeye Hook and Ladder is a separate entity. I contacted the state auditor about a month ago about police auxiliary. And I've told this story to Josh a couple times, so I end up getting a phone call. It's not an accident, it's a phone call. They are like, when it comes to your PTOs, your Buckeye Hook and Ladders, they know they exist, but they choose to look ignore them. They do not govern those entities that are for charitable purposes. So they're more or less like, yes, we know they're there, but we don't really want to talk to you about them. You know, they're separate. We're here to audit and oversee the village of North Baltimore. We're not here to oversee Buckeye Hook and Ladder. We're not here to oversee the village festival committee. You know, that's my view, and I don't think that, you know, my view will change on that at all. Unless state law or unless the auditors start to crack down on these charitable 501c3s.
But I do remember the mayor talking to our ex-council, Dennis.
Yes.
And so the mayor wanted to set it up as a committee, like, you know, our committee's right here. He wanted to set up a festival committee. And Mr. Dennis is the one who pretty much said, you shouldn't set it up through the village like that. You should have a separate
But isn't that exactly what we're doing, setting it up through the village when the village is paying for it? Isn't that exactly what we did?
Well, I guess
Because
my
if he was
understanding,
told
I
not
thought
to
it was
and went
a
ahead and did it,
donation to
that's
the.
even worse. If he was informed not to do that, but that's exactly what we're doing,
I have not paid an invoice that pays for
and
the
that's just it, I don't think we
501c3.
should pay an invoice until we
Yeah,
figure
so-
this out. Does council want me to reach out to the auditor's office?
No.
I would like council to give me at least the end of the week.
Okay.
To Dr. Sadowski, see if I can get some answers.
Yep.
But I don't know
To your
if he's going
satisfaction.
to, I don't know that he's gonna satisfy
Probably
my
not. You might not.
questions.
It's like, this is me personally, I wouldn't have a problem if you contact the auditor's office, I mean, Josh.
Yeah, why not?
But my experience, this is just my experience, and you might prove it wrong, is traditionally, their reply is gonna be that you need to get recommendation from your legal counsel.
Yeah, it's
So this comes,
quite clear as mud.
yeah, that's generally how they go, but it might not be this time.
That's fine, then I think you need to reach back out to Paul
Yeah.
and inform him that we did indeed form this under the village. We haven't paid the bill yet, but council's not willing to pay the bill until we get some answers. And maybe he needs to find out those answers for us, because he indicated he didn't know, but he also indicated that nothing was run by him, that it was not discussed with him, the 501c3, so he assumed it was a separate entity from the village. So that needs to be clarified with him to know it is not a separate entity. Tell him what went down and how it,
So why, how is it not a separate entity?
the village is paying for it. The village, what
That
my
doesn't
question
mean
is it
nothing.
legal
I
for
mean,
the
it's-
village to pay for it? Because my research indicates it's not, but I'm not an attorney.
It's
I
a-
need somebody to tell me it's legal.
The festival committee is a separate, I mean, the village is not running that committee.
But
The village is funding
the
it. They are not to pay for the
question comes, can public funds pay for
501c3.
that attorney? That's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. Can public funds pay for that attorney?
Right. And
It's
that's
not
what we
even
need
that,
to know.
the festival committee, it's the use of public funds.
And the money that we gave was set aside. It was not donated to them, so it is still,
Yeah, it can't be
This is one.
donated until there's a 501c3,
Correct.
which will be this year if it's all
So
done
the
for.
Historical Society, they have a 501c3?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
They should.
Those are funny things. Churches automatically have one.
Okay, so we'll give you till the end of the week.
Yes,
And then,
please.
then I will
One more
make some
time.
phone calls to see what we can find out if we don't have those answers.
Okay.
Because we need those answers. All right, we are going to move on to personal policy and ordinance review, and village festival and event policy. How are we coming on that?
If you look in your packet, you'll find the revised festival application, the revisions that we made at the committee meeting
Okay.
last week.
All events permit application, and I have a new special events and festivals policy, which, I still gotta go through a little bit more. These are just drafts at this time, but, I believe I touched on everything that was discussed.
I haven't had a chance to read this, so I will read this.
It was
and-
created today, so.
Okay, so then I encourage all of the rest of the council to read it and see if there's
Last
anything else
minute
that
thing,
we
you
need to
know,
change or add.
procrastinate a little bit.
So,
Well, you gotta find something to do during the day.
Oh, yeah.
all right, so we will check that over and see what else we can, so you're still amending it though, you're still adding to it?
So, man, I definitely would like some input.
Okay. Okay.
If I miss anything, make sure that it's to the satisfaction of council.
All right. Anything else, Dave?
No, that's all I have for today.
Any questions for Dave? All right, we will move on to economic and community development. Bill?
Council public hearing?
Yes, December 9th, and everyone should know about this, it was in the text message. December 9th at 5 p.m. is going to be a council public hearing. This is in regards to the adult use cannabis operators. It was a recommendation from Planning Commission to proceed with council review at this meeting in regards to allowing adult use cannabis operators in the Business District 2, B2 district, and also added the condition to the ordinance you may have already seen that the parcel with this use cannot be adjacent to a parcel that is residential in any way. It also adds the definition of what adult use cannabis operator is, which is just copy and paste from ORC.
At that meeting, can you have a map of the B2 district for us?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I know it's up there, but it's low. If you can.
But I'll get to your own first one.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And then, on top of that, if council can just, at the meeting right after, on December 9th at 5:30, council can just either modify, approve, or completely deny and not even read the ordinance if they would like, going forward.
All right, any other questions on that? We're going to,
Will that be here, Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
if you don't mind, I'm going to do this one. Just the light up.
I was
North
gonna hand it to you
Baltimore.
anyway.
Okay. The light up North Baltimore. We did that last year. Is council on board with doing that again? We did first, second, and third prizes, which we did 100, 50, and 25. So that would need to be done. If Paul would update the flyers, we could use the same flyers.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'll be happy to go around to businesses, and we got all the gift cards from businesses, so this year I'd go to somewhere, you know, different, unless somebody else wants to take over it, that's fine. But go
We'll
ahead.
definitely market this all on Facebook.
Mhm.
May I also suggest maybe a village vote on what they think is the best to.
Well, we had that, we had people's choice.
But
last
based
year.
off of Facebook, going off of Facebook.
Oh, that's
maybe
fine, you
as
could set up a
vote.
little
Yeah,
vote
that's what I'm
thing.
thinking,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Do we have
That's-
signs?
Yes.
We have signs, first, second, third?
Well,
Do we
we're
have-
going back here, where are they?
Yeah.
Polls.
We
Probably have.
Do we have last year's?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, they could be reused.
Well, no, what I mean is,
Hey, look at your best friend, pictures of each one.
we all know that the guy next to Kelly's is gonna
They'll
just.
drive on the line.
He might not,
He
if
might
we
not,
open
but
it up
here's
on
the thing-
Facebook.
but here's the thing,
It was tied last year.
Yes, it was.
Aaron had
Let's remind.
to,
I had
Not that.
Oh, really?
suggested that previous winners would have to sit out a year, but council didn't want to do that. So, you know, they were like, no, they
He's
can
only got
challenge
so many
everybody.
years left.
Huh?
Poor Ralph's only got so many years left.
That's right.
He win.
That's right. So, you know, I think it's
And it
fine.
wouldn't bother him if he didn't.
You know, it just makes us all step up more. You know, and remember, council's not allowed to participate. They can decorate, but they aren't allowed to participate. Sorry, Dave.
No voting, Dave, on
They
the-
didn't tell me that before I
I'm sorry.
agreed to join.
You just can't win a prize.
There goes your electric Grinch.
Yeah, well, that's great.
So,
Taking
do
all
we
that
need
stuff
to
back.
vote on this, or do we just need to go, yes, we're gonna do this? Josh, do we need to vote on this? Like, does this need to be on next week's meeting to vote whether we're going to do this, or?
Good question.
I don't remember if we did last year,
We're
or we
gonna
just
spend
agreed.
money, not a lot of money, but.
No, it was, it'd be 175, because we don't have to get new signs. I believe they still have the Christmas, but I'll have to get with April to see where the signs went to, where she stored those.
I think you just need an informal vote, you don't have to do a resolution or anything.
Right.
Well,
You wanna do a resolution? Can we keep it busier?
busier. Committee of the whole, we're not gonna get out of here till 8 o'clock.
I'm just thinking of,
He's losing
just
votes.
like the parade, you know, I use the money out of the festival committee. I mean, I know there's more money there, I mean, couldn't,
If possibly, I don't, and I guess that's up to council, I don't know.
That's up to the festival committee.
that's what I would say.
Organization.
I mean, that's
We have to
what
ask
I
them.
did through the parade, I just went
Right.
to the festival.
How'd the parade go?
It was great.
It was great.
I was out there.
But if we do this, I think we
Parade
need
was
to
really good.
announce it. Is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
gonna be a Christmas parade at all?
No.
No,
not
there's
really.
gonna be, so we announce it before Thanksgiving or at that time to give people sufficient time
Santa
to
come to
decorate and to know.
Library.
What'd you say?
When does Santa come to the library?
Fairly comes early.
Yeah.
When?
Fairly early. Like December 4th or 5th or something like that.
And one thing, the trailer park was asking to be included, cause they don't think they were included in the light up.
I drove out there.
Okay, I know there was one family said they decorated really good, and they were like, I didn't hear
Okay.
anything.
Well,
I said, I don't.
note to everybody that we include the
See,
trailer
the
park,
problem is,
absolutely.
the trailer park is one address.
No, we drive
No,
around.
they've got numbers on the trailer.
Well, I know that, but we are treated as one address.
Oh, yeah.
If a notice goes in the water bill, one notice.
No, you don't need to. Okay, so.
So we can get it on our website right after Thanksgiving.
Right. So we're wanna put this on next week's agenda then, so that we can.
Yes.
Vote on it, is that what everybody decided? Okay. All right, we are going to move on, to Josh. He always has things.
Yes, yes. Benches on credit union property, as you may be aware, the benches over there on their property are crumbling. Wasn't sure if you guys seen that, but,
I
would
talked
like-
to them
Yes.
about that, I'm sure you have.
Yes, I have talked to them, Matt Podock, Vaughn, everyone over the Fremont office. I would like to propose to council that we, as the village, purchase new benches to replace those two. And obviously get input from, the credit union. We already have they're open to it at this time. But I would like, because it's right in our downtown, I'd like that little area to look good. What's council's thoughts?
If we're gonna get new benches, I want a bigger tiger.
A bigger what?
Tiger.
Tiger.
Buy it. Go ahead, Tim Pelton bought that one.
If it's okay with the credit union, sure.
Well, I mean,
Can they be added to
we're
the
over
Wood
all
County
of
Park
that
Grade?
little area.
I don't believe so, it has to be actually in the park. But I think.
Yeah, Tim bought that one.
I know in the past, from what I understand, the village has put items on that little piece of property without them being notified. And I would like to change that and make sure we work together with them, and then we're all in agreement about what exactly we put there.
It's their property.
It is their property, yes.
And if they get complaints, you'll hear from it.
Oh, I'm sure. One of the reasons why I'm working closely with them on this.
BD.
So what is it you wanna do? You wanna?
I would like the village to pay for the two benches.
Cost?
We'll get cost, but I mean, with the ones for the park, how much were they? The recycled, $450? So about $1,000 we'll spend tops, I would say. Well, then there's probably shipping, but. Yeah,
If
well,
you're gonna do
it's
it,
right.
get the one like you got out front here.
You can get those through grants through your recycle program.
Well, I was gonna say, what,
Yeah.
do our Boy Scouts not do that any longer?
No. The
No.
Scout, yeah, the Cub Scouts used to do
No,
it.
Cub
I mean, we'll look for other opportunities.
That
I mean,
company went out
it's
of
like, again,
business,
our
didn't it?
property, so we're kind of
Yeah.
limited in
We
eligibility
put
and stuff, but.
we put a ton of them on campus and we got them all paid for by recycling grants.
Mason, we can do that, please. All right, we'll look into it, I just, if we can't find anything, I'd like council approval on that. We can talk about this later too, we probably wouldn't even put them in until the weather got a little better anyways, snows around the corner.
Well, they deteriorate
Okay,
fast.
we're gonna move on to the code enforcement officer's report. It's
Yes,
On the back.
I did
That's
include
it.
that.
But I know he's,
Uh,
I know he's done.
be nice to have a rush, but.
Yeah, just addresses, what, was observed or, given violations and all that. Just a quick one on that. Is there anyone trying to get into that code enforcement document that I shared with everyone still?
I didn't think it was able to be gotten into yet. Last time I tried it, wasn't it?
I did share it with your Gmail, I recall.
Send that to me again. When you sent it, I wasn't able to get into it.
With your North Baltimore address, I believe we discussed, I'll work on it again.
Please, okay.
Anyone else have any questions regarding code enforcement or getting into the document or anything like that?
I just imagine he's up against the same brick walls on the same plagued properties.
For them, kind of, but things are happening. The property that's bothering us over on Briar Hill, across from the cemetery, that went through the full process at Mayor's Court to a point where it went to a trial, like the first one ever in Mayor's Court here. And then Mr. Sharp sent it to Bowling Green Court to be dealt with there. But I'm learning a lot from our officers and from code enforcement and just day-to-day the operations of code enforcement that we're starting to become a oiled machine, I would say. But things are getting done around town. You might not see it, you might see it, but things are getting done. Alcohol vehicles are being taken away. We are going after many people. And the process just takes a long time sometimes. And it should, to a point. We have to make sure that we aren't infringing on people's rights, property rights especially. But we are at the same time, we're moving in a direction where we're cleaning up this town.
Have we ever done a commercial blight policy in North Baltimore? Mainly downtown Main Street?
So.
Do any of our current, or I guess my question, I could ask it a little better. Do any of our ordinances apply to businesses on Main Street?
Well, the short answer is yes. And
Okay.
when it comes to many of the industries out there, I've been phasing this out with Jake mostly. It's residential first, and then we're working towards, and somewhat recently we started with our downtown district, mostly in the behind those businesses, but that's where a lot of the grass has been growing out of control, so that has been taken care of slowly but surely. And then eventually he'll work his way up to actual, industrial,
You gotta follow the
HPJ,
zoning
and all
policy.
that, yes.
So how many hours does he teach, like 20, 25 hours a week?
Something like that, it's actually.
So he
Maybe
only
a little
did-
less than that.
A little less than that?
yeah.
So he only did 9 properties in 31 days?
I think it's more than that. I can go over this with him actually, to be honest. But he's done more. There's other things in the works. He does a lot of administrative stuff now too.
And I guess one thing I'd like added to the report is, okay, so where are they at in the process? It's been rectified?
Yes.
We served a notice, we don't know where it's at.
Action taken, I
Yeah.
guess, really.
That's in the Google Doc, but we need better
Okay.
showing it on
Yeah.
paper too.
Yeah, 'cause I'm a little surprised that it's only 9 and 25 hours, and that's 25 hours a week, right?
About 15 hours.
Oh, 15 hours a week, so 9 properties in 60 hours a month?
It's about 3 properties a week.
There's more being done than what you're saying, I will say. I promise you.
Okay.
I go on and ride along with him once a week too. I make it a thing. We catches me up on what's going on, and then when it comes to Bowling Green Court, I have the arraignment and stuff in my calendar.
So to make sure I check it afterwards. 205 Patterson, 205 Radio.
It would just be nice to know, like, okay, this property has been addressed, but we're still dealing with it, or it's been rectified. So if there's another problem that's reported.
There's a lot
you
of
know.
data to input. It's, yeah, some Google documents, kind of hard to put into paper, to be honest. But, which is the reason why I shared it with everyone. It's all coming together. It really is coming together.
I just know I've been complaining the property since May, and it's still.
The property in question we talked about, I do know that the cars, for total property, the cars are now not, they're all registered and all that. The property's been cleaned up quite a bit. TV's gone, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not content, I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, we'll talk about, hey.
That's what I'd like to know, is it
maybe
checked
this
off
week or
and it's all
next-
good? Because it's not all good, and that's what I'm wondering.
From what I understand, it is all good, but again, if you see something, we can walk, we can drive by together.
Okay. Did you want to knock on the door too?
Bless you. I am pushing for the officers. I think the officers actually give them a violation for that. Like, every time I'm over there, those cars are in the yard.
Right.
So a violation has been delivered as far as I know.
Which I didn't even know was illegal. So.
You can't park your cars in the middle of your yard.
Josh
Especially when you have a perfectly fine drive.
Josh was making friends, and when
You really can't park your car in the middle of your yard, it's yours.
Not in
I do
grass.
that all the time.
Why?
Why?
It's in our ordinance.
Our ordinance. I'll show it to you.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Because
have
I've
to
only
see
been
that.
asking for a policy and ordinance book since I took this position.
I mean, you are the.
In the head of that.
If you want me to kill
committee.
more trees, let's go online.
Huh?
Is there a website which you've ever been on? There's a link on there.
Is there a link on there?
Under residents.
It's not
it says
actually
right there.
a physical book.
I could kill a lot of trees. Plus, we're updating everything with a new legal review, which we are catching up on. Most of we're on the 300s and the 500s. That it will just be better.
All the codes and stuff, it's easy to read on there, because I looked when I built the shed a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And it had all the requirements.
Community code, which is again through Civic Plus, it's been great. I'm pretty sure Chase is the one who really got that going. Give credit for that.
Don't
All right.
ask me to print it out again.
Please don't.
Like I did last year, Paula. I lost my hard drive 2 weeks ago. Everything.
We're gonna move on. Want to go ahead?
All right, finance report.
Finance report, Matt.
Well, I had 5 items on there, just more than anything, if you had a chance to read it, and you have any questions on any of those. I guess I'm gonna move on to a different topic if you don't. So, for the meeting on Tuesday, I'm gonna have 3 ordinances and 2 resolutions. They'll be the first reading. So in the email, you'll get the email that they'll be part of. So if you want, you can choose, you can read them over. One, supplemental appropriations, not uncommon this time of the year, more expected. Next ordinance is one I referenced earlier, the transfer of funds. We were talking about the parks, I kind of made the point there. You'll see the different items on there from the general fund out. I have it planned, or we'll call it budgeted, to be quite a bit higher than last year. As far as moving from the general fund out into other funds, I have it budgeted at $310,000. Of that, I made mention of, this is my suggestion, $85,000 to the streets capital fund. We're talking about a building that's it can be used for other things besides a building, but that's part of like my thought process. $50,000 for EMS. Phil's not heard this before. We all know they need improvements. EMS. There's other things that are maybe more traditional. Parks is one of them. Streets construction. Like I said, it's first reading. It's all on there. So if you want to look at it, that's your first chance, and you'll have time. So moving, I guess I'll move through them all, and then I'll field questions if you have any. Resolution 36 is going to be for Medical Mutual for renewal of health, life, vision, and dental insurance. We've received, that's one of them that kind of, it's coming, but you don't get the rates till last week. So the goal is to have 3 readings on that, but brokers anxious to get the council's response back. Did a Teams meeting with them yesterday. They had some other options to look at. Medical Mutual was who we're with, and I would recommend to stay with them. It's a 3% increase. That was one of them pleasant surprises, because we all know how bad that news can be when it comes to insurance. The next ordinance is the annual appropriations ordinance. Again, first reading. I'm continuing to work on that, entering the information into the computer. The next thing is the resolution for our wage resolution. We all know we talked about it last year shortly after I was hired. I have updated that as of today. When I say updated, it's just a starting point. I put in there current wages like it was last year, and then in red I put it as if the wage if it was a 3% increase. That's just a guide that's to be decided, that's just letting you know when you see it. Modified some things with police because of council voted to modify it. So like I said, read it over. Ideally we would have that passed before the end of the year. Just in my world, that makes everything flow smoother. So that's really my spiel on that. You'll be getting that in an email. So,
Well, in order to get that approved at December's meeting, are we having any other special meetings that you're thinking of? Because that's not going to happen by the end of the year unless we pass it as an emergency or suspend the third reading.
Josh mentioned about maybe having a special meeting before the next committee of the whole. I don't know if that's going to be reality, but when I produced these, wrote them, I actually put that in as a second reading. I think it was December 2nd. But if we don't have a special meeting, then I'll just have to change things, or we have a special meeting later in December. That's up to, I guess, the mayor or what everybody else feels they want to do as far as to get 3 readings. I would love to have it today, but it's too much. So,
If the members of the council or the mayor want to have it,
Is there anything else?
no, that's all I have.
Alrighty. Any questions for Matt? When will the budgets be voted on? Is that December?
When I say the annual appropriation,
That's all the budget?
that is
That's everything?
That is essentially the budget. The first reading will be
So we'll have those next
Wednesday.
We'll have all the budget information next Wednesday.
We'll see if I have it all. I'll have most of it.
Okay.
It is really lengthy, to be honest.
Okay.
So, I entered it all maybe, I don't remember, I really don't know if it was 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, but then that was my starting point. It's actually been helpful because then when Josh Long comes in, and they have their numbers, I can go, well, this is what it's good to me, it's good to have a view for both of us without ever talking to each other. And with Josh, we just talked yesterday, and it's like some of his things, there's just not enough money there, so it helped. Maybe he's picking up more, like that site, I'm explaining it to him why, I wish you had, $25,000 to go towards your backhoe, but at least not out of that particular fund. So.
Alrighty, any other questions for Matt? Any other questions at all? Then we adjourn this meeting.
Matt, what's our